wouldn't affect anything.
Only the employees, but it wouldn't affect a whole bunch. I could push it back to a week, but some things will happen.
So yeah, we're gonna miss any things anyways. Some of us are gonna want a time skip. Alexander is under the impression that we can't do everything.
But the more we time skip, the more Garfield also misses out. Like he could come back to 2 weeks later instead of one day later.
But yeah, that's just in the sense of time. He doesn't really miss anything. Unless his character is very time sensitive and like his actual life and how long he has left in his time goals. That I would understand. If your character had like 10 years left to live, time skipping would be detrimental to you.
If he was playing.
All right, so I had already explained it previously, but does anyone remember what happened last time?
Yes.
Some people did some things.
I mean, yeah, some people did some things. That is accurate.
We found a house that apparently was a dungeon. There was a ghost child in it. I didn't want to deal with that. We went back to the inn. Well, I talked to the guards and told them the entire situation we went through, and then I went back to the inn.
Yep, that's just about the gist of it. So, as you guys eventually head back to the inn, you guys got a long rest sleeping in the booths that were there, unless your character went to, say, a house, like their house, like Alex, for example. Or the recently deceased Juliel. Or perhaps, the circus. Kind of like Tempest.
What did we do with Juliel? I mean, did we ever have his body or anything?
We left the body.
You left the body there, and the guards would have stumbled across his body, so it's definitely a crime scene. If you guys were to kind of head back over in that direction the following day, you would see that it is taped off, and there are guards and people kind of holding things at bay while investigations are being made. But for now, you guys, I'm gonna say you guys reconvene here at the tavern. It's about like, I'm gonna say it's like 8 in the morning. The morning is yours. So far, Tempest is not here. You know, you guys can summon her at any time to basically watch over this place if need be, but for the time being, she's over in the entertainment district. Before parting for the night, Garfield had mentioned to Jaren that he had some business in the docks that he would like to go take care of. He doesn't know exactly when he'll be back. It'll be a couple days at the latest. He could be back as early as 6 hours from now. Who knows? It really depends on him. But for now, it is just the three of you plus Molly. So, members of the Broken Conch, what will you do with your day?
Do any of you actually have the Everon book? Or have access to it?
Yes.
Alright, so I don't have to read the list off to you. Do you want any of the replicate magic items from the level 2 artificer made for you?
I think it's just access to it, not necessarily memorization. You didn't
Jaren,
memorize the damn list. You're gonna have to get more specific.
I know, but if he has the book, then I don't have to read them all out to him.
Jaren is going to get up early and go for a jog as far as he can go into the city for about 2 hours and then jog back to do his strength and endurance training.
Okay, then if that's the case, Jaron, I'm gonna say that in your morning jog, you did see that that whole tape up situation going on with a couple of guards kind of like posted around that area. You do see some extra faces. There has been a watch and things set up to secure that general location.
Could I slow
Even
down and investigate a little bit further to see if they have a cause of death or anything?
I'm
If
gonna say like you can probably ask the guardsman that's currently posted there, but there's no way for you to actually like get inside and look.
do I have to make some kind of roll persuasion or whatever?
Yeah, let's go ahead and hash this out. You kind of approach the guard as the morning sun is rising, and you do see that he is ever vigilant. He does look a little bit relaxed, but you do see that he's kind of like leaned up against a wooden post. Uh, he's not like really smoking anything, but he's definitely relaxed. His weapons are sheathed at the moment, and he's kind of folding his arms. You do see that he has basically full plate on, but he's got a hood or a cowl or a cloak of sorts to kind of keep himself warm during the night. Uh, and kind of like taking his arms out of one of the folds, or taking his hands out of one of the folds in his arms. He's just going to hold it up to you. It's just like, Alt, sir, state your business.
I'm just checking in here on the victim. He was a friend of ours. I was wondering if they had a cause of death yet.
Could you be a little more specific, sir? There was a lot of people in there.
I didn't know. He was a little halfling gent. Had a crossbow with him all the time.
We found about 5 of them, sir. Could you be a little more... And he's just kind of like rolling his wrists. If you guys remember, there was a lot of halflings in there.
I try to give some kind of specific description about Juliel. I don't really know how well Jaren would remember him. Do I have to roll something?
Try to act it out. That's Jaron.
He did blow you up.
I make the exact pose that Juliel was making when he blew us up.
The guard looks unimpressed as he continues to just kind of like wait for you.
He looked like that. So did they all die of the same thing?
Most of them were from slashing wounds, yes.
So they were killed.
Yes. It's best not to, We're taking care of things, sir.
Well, as I said, one of the victims was an associate of ours, and if you come upon any leads or need to ask any questions, come on by the Broken Conch. And if I have any of our business cards, I'll give him one.
The Broken Conch. He kind of looks at the business. You kind of like hand him a card. I'm gonna say you guys have like cards. He just kind of flicks in between two of his. Oh, Conch. I see. That's the new place that just opened up, right? It's not exactly ready for business, but you guys, you're on your way, right?
Come on by and see for yourself.
Suppose I will.
And with that, I just nod to him and take off on my jog again. And
He gives you like a 2-finger salute, and he just kind of goes back to folding his arms and just waiting around.
And with that, I guess we can go to Dale or Griff.
Yep, and you go on through your morning jog, basically without a hitch. You'll go ahead and return to the broken conch, all nice and musky and sweaty.
All me and Griff would have been talking about are the things I can make and what he actually wants. And he said he wants a goggle.
Hash it out.
Could
Hash it out.
definitely use the ability to see a little better in the dark.
I can definitely make them for you. Is that the only thing you want from the list?
Really, I don't need anything else that I could think of. The group might be able to use a rope of climbing at some point, but I know I've been relying on Garfield creating light, but if he's not around, Jaren can see in the dark very much better than I can.
Yeah, I was probably going to make goggles of the night for myself as well, but I was thinking of things I can make for you guys first since I'm getting handguns.
And of course, bags of holding always come in handy when there's things to cart around.
I pat mine on my side and I say, yeah, it comes in handy. I was thinking of making more of these. I'll ask Darren if he wants any of these things when he gets back. He probably wants the goggles to see in the night as well.
Yeah, Jaren, I believe being a dwarf can see fairly well in the dark, but Garfield and myself, I think, are the two here that are a little limited.
Oh yeah, dwarves can see in the dark. Keep forgetting that.
One moment.
I'm just waiting for the number Mo's going to give me for the cost so I can tell you what they're going to cost to make and how long.
That'll run you about, for the more intrinsic parts, around 290 gold. You can kind of guesstimate. You'll need probably near 300, but definitely more than like 260.
So it'll take me around 6 days by myself. If I hire 2 people, which is the same cost of hiring 1, it'll take me a week and a half. That'll be 40 on that, so that'll be 330-ish. And it'll be 2 silver per day for...
While Alexander is kind of
9
counting
days.
to himself, Jaren, you do re-enter from the from your morning jog.
So 1 goggles a night will be around 361.62. That's how much it's going to cost us to make one of those. Until we get the tower, that is.
Sadly, at the moment, don't have that much.
Well, I have that much on me. I can easily make it. Again, you've given me all the crafting materials and things I need to do it. I even take the time to take out all the money and stuff that I had and show you what I actually still have on me.
At current, I have 185 gold myself and holding on to 110 for Jaren.
Jaren walks back into the room and tells you guys that he ran into a crime scene about the little pipsqueak, and that apparently his whole family was murdered, or him and some of his friends. Then
So you ran past that spot.
then he describes to you guys the what the inspector told him about there being 5 halflings and how he didn't really say exactly how they died, just from scratching or from slashing wounds. That they were killed by someone.
Now, I never asked at the time, but was this the address or was this the building that I had followed Juliel
No,
to
this
prank
is
him earlier, or was it a different location?
this was last session when you guys went to the house and found Juliel's body.
Yeah, no.
Among the bodies were a lot of halflings.
I was just it was verifying that it was not the Juliel's house that
No.
this took place at. Okay.
No, it was not Juliel's house. It was a random house, kind of near the slums, or a slum-like area. But you get my point.
Well, one thing Griff would definitely be doing would be taking off to go do a little bit of cleanup and make sure that there weren't still snail and slug infestation left behind, feeling a little guilty.
I totally blank on what happened for most of last session, so I only vaguely know what's going on with that. So I'll just say that Jarn was in kind of a drunken stupor.
Just that at one point during the downtime, after Juliel blew us all up, Griff had snuck over, followed him back to his location, and snuck in and filled his bed with snails
Oh.
and slugs.
I put in Discord all of the money worth I have for crafting. In fact, is there a way for me to show my entire inventory to them that it's currently at, like to paste that into the chat? Because he would see that as I was pulling everything out.
Do you want me to make your inventory available to everybody?
Yeah, for now, if they want to look at it.
If you want to take a peek, you should be able to see it now.
But Alexander's just waiting for the next hires to show up and people to come back. Because we did tell Billy to actually come back with his resume.
Didn't Billy hand you his resume?
No, he didn't. He was the only one who came in with that one.
Ah. Well, as you guys are kind of discussing amongst yourself in the morning, eventually you're going to hear a knock coming from the door.
Molly will go over and open it.
Molly's gonna go and open the door. As Molly opens the door, based off of your guys' positions, you actually do see Billy with his kind of chest poked out, walking confidently as he always does. He is brandishing a piece of paper, and he is accompanied by two women. Give me one moment. Um, Billy's up in front here. Kind of like looking around, seeing that there's like no other customers here. He's gonna eyeball the three of you and morning. How you fuckers doing?
Morning. Good thing you'll be in the kitchen.
Good morning, Billy.
Well, Billy's gonna make a direct like beeline to you, Alex, and he's going to present his paperwork. And you do see that everything is filled out and is accounted for, though you do see crinkling and possibly a little bit of a grease stain towards like the bottom corner. Took me a while to, fish that out of the recesses that is my apartment, but found it. Everything's in order. I made sure this morning.
What's with your assistants?
Oh,
I assume they're here to be the mates.
yeah, they were kind of like, walking circles around the building, making sure they got the right area. Come on, don't be shy. And kind of like turns around and beckons the both of them over. And they're gonna like take a seat at the table. They are both being very professional, very formal. Billy is comfortable.
What races are we looking at?
You see, one halfling, and one human. The human girl she is a brunette. Nothing really stands out from this woman other than she has a interest in like sports related activities. Like she's going to be passing you her application, and both of them are here for tavern workers, waitresses, bussers, that whole sort of deal. Yes, these two are going to be the mains. The human is 23. She predominantly works in the farmlands, but has recently gone through the application process to try to get a little closer into town, because there's a lot of good stuff in town. So she doesn't have too much in the ways of experience as a tavern maid, but she has worked in general labor for about 2 years. The halfling, she is also brunette, um, but her hair kind of travels down loosely to like her shoulders. Um, she looks very scrappy. She is dressed nicely, but you can tell she didn't get rid of all the bedhead. But she looks really young. On her application, she is 16, and she has no workplace experience. This would basically be her first job. The halfling's name is Penelope Meadowgate, while the human is Elizabeth Kelly.
What are their
The
classes?
halfling is going to pipe up. It's like, nice to meet you. This will be my first opportunity, but if you'll have me, I swear that I will work as hard as I can to make sure everything is spick and span.
I nodded her, continue reading her resume. What classes are they, if any?
Neither of these two ladies have classes.
Alright. Well, I guess say the first performance task is each of you, without bumping into each other, stand up as fast as you can, walk over behind the bar, grab a platter, put as many cups and mugs
Wait,
as you can on them.
hold on. I'm really sorry. Could you say that again? And Elizabeth speaks up, realizing like, oh shit, we're being put on the spot.
Stand up.
They both seem to be a little distracted, kind of like looking off to their right, ever so slightly, kind of past you, Kento.
They're staring at Jaren or something.
Yeah, you see Jaren is trying to be super sneaky, but is failing horribly.
I tell them to stand up, walk over to the bar, grab a tray, put as many cups as they possibly can on
And
it,
she just darts
and
off.
walk back over here
Very well.
as quickly and as safely as you can.
They're gonna both kind of arrive here at the same time, and you see that the halfling is quick to like grab a platter, and she puts it up on the countertop, and she just begins like stacking cups and plates. But you see that she's kind of like gauging where her kind of strength is by like trying to pick up the platter, realizing she's a little too small. She kind of like darts off into the back, trying to like look for a box or something. Meanwhile, Elizabeth just kind of like looks over the plate. She moves her plate aside, plucks up one of her own, and begins stacking them pretty nicely. But she's definitely a little bit slower, but you can tell she's being a lot more careful. This other halfling's going to come back with the box. She's going to put it down. She's going to hop up on it. And they both basically simultaneously grab their platters and begin heading back. This girl is moving a little too quickly. You do hear the various like clicks and clacks of your plates rattling, but she eventually slows herself down and basically is going in to like stick the landing. Meanwhile, Elizabeth has been a lot more of a slow and steady pace, but she is carrying it basically with one hand as she's just kind of watching her footing. Billy's just kind of loving this. He just pulls up a chair and sits down. The halfling is going to make it first to your platter, or first to your table. Elizabeth, seeing this, is going to come around. And then they're going to place their platters down and begin unloading in front of you guys. Let me roll some stuff. So, while the halfling slides the platter onto the table, it is a very swift and fluid motion as she kind of like gets up onto the chair to begin unloading it very quickly and efficiently and safely. Elizabeth kind of thunks her platter down. She kind of like jumps for a little bit because she is nervous after all, and begins unloading it. They both basically finish at around the same time, though.
Now, here's my question. How much did each of them actually carry? What did they both bring me?
They brought you basically things to set up the table with. Like, they brought you plates, they brought you forks, knives, spoons, cups, couple of bowls. Elizabeth carried far less, but she definitely had more, but was being a little bit quick to her feet, you know.
If she had the store right off the bat, she probably would have been faster. The other one was safer, so. I look over at Jarn and say, do you want to see how they work with you when they're filling cups and dealing in the back?
Jaren is going to walk up to the table. He's going to shoo Kento aside, and then, with everything on the table, he's going to flip it.
All right, roll me a strength save or athletics check. I'm sorry. All right, yeah, you're gonna flip that. Oh wait, I need a dex save from
Both the maids.
No, just Billy.
Just Billy.
I already rolled the maids.
Oh.
What direction are you flipping it, Jaren?
I'm trying not to get it in directly in the path of anyone. Billy might get splashed.
All right, so as you flip the table, the both of them like back up immediately, shocked that you did such a thing. They definitely weren't prepared for it. Billy kind of, you flip the table, he kind of flips out a little bit and falls back in his chair, but you see him do a like backwards roll and stand right back up, like, oh shit. But almost immediately, without even thinking about it, you see that both Billy and Elizabeth begin to clean it up, while she just kind of stands there like, oh shit, I didn't do it, what the fuck? And then kind of like look at these two, then shoot a quick look towards back you two,
And I'm staring
and then
directly.
begins cleaning.
And she looks at me, and I'm staring at her.
I say Elizabeth is serving drinks.
I go over and I start the best I can, trying to mend anything that broke as they gather it up.
Alright, one moment. So as they're picking it up, you see that Elizabeth is exercising all sorts of caution. She immediately like grabs a handkerchief from her, kind of like underneath the sash tying at her waist, and she begins picking up the pieces of glass, making sure not to cut her hand. You do have cleaning supplies in the back.
I say, it's wonderful
Like,
that you all
back here.
started working, and I point out we have cleaning supplies in the back. You can go get brooms.
Immediately hearing that, she is going to pop off, realizing she knows exactly where the brooms are because she saw it. And she's moving on. Elizabeth has taken a platter, like the same platter that was on top of the desk, and is using that to quickly put the pieces of glass and most of the bigger broken shards onto the platter, realizing she's going to go get cleaning supplies. Billy cuts his hand. He's like, ah, shit. He begins, like, licking his thumb, just like, I shouldn't bleed here. And he just kind of, like, steps back and lets her handle it.
I tell Billy, good choice. I was going to tell you to do that.
She comes back with a broom and dustpan, just, like, at the ready. And she begins assisting, basically, with the rest of the cleaning. And they both tag team it at this point.
I cure light wounds, and I stop his bleeding.
Oh, shit. Thanks.
I'll go wash your hands and then go back to helping.
The both of them begin setting the table back up as Billy goes off into the kitchen. At this point, they're kind of like taking a little bit more precaution around Jaren, as the small halfling kind of hides a little bit next to Kento, as Elizabeth just kind of remains near Alex. But they're both standing like, uh-oh.
Anything else either of the two of you want to do?
Well,
No, we're here just for the cleaning.
It is a tavern, so you must be prepared for chaotic events like that.
Jaren is just standing there with his arms crossed with a shit-eating grin on his face.
The both of them definitely are kind of like avoiding eye contact with you, Jaren, but they both nod their heads with like, right, we get it.
Meanwhile, Kento's putting 3 cups that he caught carefully onto the platter.
Again, Alexander will start mending what he can.
All right.
If you want to watch, you can. You might learn something. It is a cantrip after all.
As they're kind of like wrapping things up, you see another individual step into the tavern. What you all see is a half-elf male with short, dirty blonde hair. He is dressed in some pretty nice-looking overalls. He's got his sleeves rolled up. He's got a pair of nice-looking gloves on, and he has a spell book at his side. Greetings. Who is the owner here? I'm here for a janitorial position.
All of us, technically. Well, us three, and I point out Jaren and Kento.
Ah, excellent. Ladies. The both of them kind of nod as they're not sure what to really do at this point, but they're there. Billy just kind of steps on out, and he's just leaning up against the wall, just seeing how all this is going to play out.
I look over at Jaren and go, "Do you want to show them how to work the machine for the alcohol?" I'm forgetting his name right now. Distillery.
Are they going to be making...
Well, you'll at least want them to know how to take it out of it when it's ready.
We're not here for bartendering. As you hear Elizabeth call out.
Well, you'll be serving drinks. You won't be the one at the bar, but if you need to take things out of tables.
You see them both look immediately nervous.
They don't need to be touching
Right.
Agatha. Not unless they're serving drinks or mixing drinks.
Yeah, that's something for a bartender, my dude. They're not going to touch anything back there.
And yes,
Alright, so they'll only deliver drinks.
her name is Agatha.
I look at you and I smile in approval that you named your machine.
It's not a machine. It's Agatha.
Yeah.
Right. Is this a bad time?
No, not at all.
Alrighty then. And here you are. And he's going to hand you, David, an application. You see that this individual's name is Will Coral Pamphilus. One
I'll read
moment.
this out loud.
I laugh.
On his application that you see that he wanted to become an adventurer at one point, but when it came to like actual combat, he found himself a little too driven by survival. And he quickly realized he was not meant for combat. He, in fact, detests it quite a bit. But in his younger years, he did attend Hogwarts Academy for a short while. And he is a wizard. He is specifically a conjuration and transmutation. He dabbles in both fields.
I look over at them as I'm reading this. I stop in the middle of reading and say, "We should hire him. This is the best janitor ever."
I don't want no walking brooms and Fantasia in this tavern.
When it comes to confrontation, he is very poor to diffuse a situation as he does not engage at all. But he is first to report things to either a higher up or whatever the case may be. Um, you do kind of get a little notion or a little note on like a back page of his application given to you by the city of OrinCraft that this individual is throwing out applications left and right. He is definitely looking for a job, but his latest one was he did janitorial work at Mogwarts School of Wizardry for 8 months and at several taverns and inns over the course of about 15 years. So he definitely does have job experience. And his class is Wizard.
Is the same reason for him switching jobs the same thing, like a bad thing, multiple times over and over, or did he leave on good terms each time?
He left under his own terms each time. It was moreover he quit various jobs due to the amount of violence that sometimes befell him.
I come over and sniff him. Does he smell like hard work? Would that be insight or perception?
That would be insight. Go for insight.
Damn.
See, but we don't need hard work. We need good work.
I got a 3.
I mean, he's an elf. He smells of like that flowery lavender shit. You're not really. You can't really tell.
Can you clean without magic?
I could, yes.
That's
I'm
what
very detail oriented, but I would prefer the use of magic as it's a lot more efficient.
You're going to clean without magic for the first 7 days.
Very well. It won't be too difficult, I imagine.
I nod and agree to that. Like, that's a good test, if we're hiring him now.
Sure. What is your level of standard? As he begins eyeing your place up and down. Just clean or perhaps sparkling?
This is definitely not a question for Jara, and he let someone else answer.
Or just a tolerable
Whatever.
amount of dust, as he kind of like sweeps a little bit off of like a piece of the wooden chair here and just kind of like rubs it in between his fingers and thumbs a
I
little
say
bit.
I would want you to get it as immaculate as you can, because in my workstation I try to keep it as clean as possible. I would like it to be shining if you could.
Very well, it shall be done.
Exercise extreme caution around Agatha.
Agatha?
The distillery pump at the back.
Oh, yes. I assure you, good dwarf, that your Agatha will be the cleanest it has ever been. And he kind of gives that head little wiggle. He's definitely an elf.
I am definitely going to have to be showing which parts of this not to clean to the elf, because I don't want everything to be super clean on this.
I have cleaned those devices before.
I'm still going to supervise you for the next 7 days.
Of course. The other girls are just kind of like, fuck, he's so good at this. They're kind of like looking back and forth between each other, just like a little impressed about how he's oozing confidence. Billy back here is just like munching on a piece of jerky.
What does Billy do for us? I forgot. Or what?
He is a
Yeah.
chef,
Okay.
Yeah, one of the
but you have yet to hire him.
And he is a good chef. He made us good food.
He did the chili and the meats, I believe.
Probably like a pulled pork sandwich. Or something like that.
It was pulled pork and shepherd's pie, I think.
The other guy, the orc, made shepherd's pie.
Yes, 5.
Yeah.
An orc worked well with Billy because he used all of Billy's leftovers.
So, did we hire a tender?
A bartender? No. You have yet to meet any of your actual bartenders.
None of them have come in yet.
Yeah, we're only hiring one, so I only see maybe 2 applicants in those.
Alright, so all these people that we're hiring, they are not going to be living on site, right? We're not like getting
They
them
can.
rooms or anything.
They can. If when you do hire one of these people or multiple of these people, a room will be built for them. So they are on-site crew. That's one of the many advantages of working here in OrinCraft.
It's why we don't have to pay them.
Alright, well then one thing we should probably be asking all of these people is when they expect to start working. So that way they...
Oh, and you hear the halfling pipe up. I can work today. I can work anytime. And you hear, yeah, I could work today too if you'd like. And then Will Corl's gonna finish up with, I'm sure any one of us here can begin our duties should you hire us now.
Well, I assume you have to go put in your paperwork that you've been hired and that we signed it.
Yes. Well, if you do agree to hire one of us, you do have a stamp, don't you?
I probably.
When you guys got this tavern and went through the paperwork, yes, you guys did receive a stamp to put for applications so that the city of OrinCraft would essentially get automatic mail saying this person's been approved. It looks like a shell. You guys did design it.
I take out the stamp and say, so are we hiring everybody here?
Billy looks interested, like, oh? The others are silent.
I am
Did we
okay
have
with that.
Did we have other applicants for some of these positions?
Well, we have 2 applicant spots for chef. We'd be hiring one now. We have one more for maid to fill. We'd be filling 2 of them now, and we'd be filling the 1 janitor. We haven't filled the 2 guards, the 1 bartender, and I believe that was it. I'd have to look at the rest of the list.
Are we expecting anyone else to come for these positions?
Not the maid ones. All the maids have shown up right now.
I thought we got 3 maids.
What was the
Yeah,
halfling's
3
name
maids
again?
or servants, and 3 have shown up.
I thought that janitor was an entirely separate thing, or does he fall under
No,
servant?
he falls under maid and servant.
I say we can accept the girls so that way they can start moving in.
They both look happy.
I'd like to hire the wizard that cleans, especially so he can make this place shine without magic.
Do we have someone else coming in for the janitor position, though? Because he might have to compete for it.
Not as a janitor specifically, no.
We do want a janitor, so...
These 2 are technically your janitorial work as well.
I
They're
point
maids.
at the tray of broken stuff that I was about to take the time to fix, and I say, your task is to go over there and fix all of those cups, trays, and plates. And if there's anything missing, you need to take the time to pick it up off the floor, find that sliver, and put it in there.
Is this my task?
This will be your task, because they had to do stuff.
So you want me to mend and repair those broken... And he just kind of goes over to the girls.
You can use magic for this. How fast can you fix stuff, and how well?
Oh, well, if that's the case, give me one moment.
I look back at them. We break stuff all the time, right? So if you can fix stuff quickly, we don't have to worry about it. And then I look over at Kendo, unless you want to fix it your way to make it look cool.
Functional is fine. Let's see how he does at fixing things.
All right, well, and you see him kind of like crack his knuckles, like by intertwining his fingers and pushing outward. He takes out, well, with one hand, he kind of like levitates his spell book, like hovering a bit over his hands. You see him flip through the pages with one solid motion and begin to chant in Elvish. You see that basically an arcane circle kind of appears throughout the tabletop as all of the pieces of broken glass and shards and what have you begin to flow back into the platter, and they begin mending themselves all at once. Alexander, you notice with that Arcana check that he just casted the spell Fabricate. He turns back to you and is just like, there you are. All fixed. One of my more higher spells, but very handy.
All I say is I was already sold, but how about you guys?
DM, did he use material components or anything, or did he use like some kind of
He used the broken shards as a material component.
so he wasn't like using any kind of focus or anything that we could see?
If anything, you could probably gauge he did that directly out of his spellbook, as though his spellbook is his focus.
Okay. I'm not opposed to hiring the maids and janitor. On a trial basis. 7 days for each.
I'm fine with that.
I look over Billy. I'm like, sorry, Billy. They still want to see the other chefs.
Billy just kind of like dips his head down a little bit in disappointment, but he raises up both of his arms like, nah, I get it. Well, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna just, and then he just walks out.
Molly Kirky's doing as he leaves.
He'll give you a 2-finger salute as he kind of like walks out.
We'll probably end up hiring him too.
So you guys are basically gonna go through with the 3 maids here?
We are.
Yeah. Is there a place to stamp to say temporary time? Or is it just hired and then we have to run the paperwork to prompt them?
You know, it's once you officially sign the paperwork, then some builders are gonna come through.
So, if we are officially getting these NPCs, can we get, like, pictures on their tokens?
Yes, when I find them.
Yes.
What was the halfling's name again? Sorry, I was just jotting down notes.
The halfling was Penelope Meadowgate.
Penelope
Or
and
color.
Elizabeth.
Or now.
And then the wizard janitor is Wilco.
Wilcoral Panphilus.
I'm just,
Panthenus.
I'm just gonna call him Wilco.
That's fine.
I can't help
All right.
feel that he got made fun of in wizard school with his name like that.
He might have. All right. As you guys stamp their applications, you do see that the red ink kind of like seeps into the actual applications, and all three of them begin to fold in on themselves and turn into origami birds that eventually turn red and fly out of your tavern.
Hey, we need a copy of those.
You hear a tweet in response.
You can get one.
As they are hired, they give themselves like a celebratory like high five. And you see that Will actually begins to take charge. It's like, all right, well, first thing we need to do is, and he begins kind of like murmuring into them. All three of them kind of like nod once, and they all begin to inspect your place.
Free training, I'm not going to disagree with this.
And then another person enters through your door.
And it's another A.
With hefty hoof prints, you see that a dark looming figure enters silhouetted by the sunshine and with one heavy step after another, snorts in recognition as a minotaur has entered your building. He walks up to you, Jaren, kind of leans down, acknowledges your presence, and then gives you a nod.
I'm going to stare up at him defiantly and... What's your business here?
He thumps down an application on the table and slides it over to Metal Man. He gives a snort and nod of recognition to you, Kento. David, you see that this 60-year-old male centaur is named Roofbreaker.
Centaur or Minotaur?
Minotaur.
Okay.
Sorry. On his experience sheet, you see that he has stood as a guard for 20 years in the Underdark, in mixture with several different cities.
So he defended at places that they knew the Underdark came for, or he was actually in the Underdark?
He was basically guarding entrances into the Underdark.
Can you speak?
You see him begin to struggle and kind of shake with anticipation as he begins to mutter words you can't comprehend.
I'll let the robot finish reading.
David, you see that his class is Berserker Barbarian Open Fist Monk.
Oh my god.
He is here for a guard position. Unfortunately, under languages known, he can only speak Minotaur.
I cast Comprehend Language.
Okay. He doesn't know what you did. So he's just kind of looking around you three with anticipation.
I let him like, your application is sound. I can understand you right now, so you can speak back to me. But you not being able to talk to anyone is a hard put off.
I apologize.
Do you know any other language than
Breaker is getting necklace of speak in shop.
How many days?
You see him kind of like begin to look down at his hands and begins thumbing days. 5 moon.
Well, we haven't hired any guards yet. We're still thinking about it. You guys want to read his application? It's sound, and he's going to get a necklace that's going to allow him to speak with everyone in 5 days.
5 days?
Yeah, he's having it made in shop so that he can speak with everyone. But right now, he can't talk to you.
He looks at all of you and snorts. Just kind of waiting. You can't. He's kind of hard to read, but his stoic expression shows you he is the real deal.
Why does he want to guard?
He looks at the robot.
He's asking you, why do you want to guard?
It's...
I relay everything back.
You see him struggle a bit for words. It's what I'm meant for.
I translate that back as basically his calling.
Giants too dangerous near home. This city fortified. Safety.
So, good in
So
a fight, not necessarily the brightest.
I ask him, or actually, I ask the robot to ask him if he has any experience pouring drinks.
Do you have any experience pouring drinks?
He shakes his head no.
He's here for a guard position, after all.
I don't want to hire him for the guard position, because he thinks it's fate that he has to be a guard. I want to hire him for something else. Let him know he can defy fate.
More that's what he wants to do. He wants you to be someone who serves drink and be more than just a guard to defy fate, or however you feel.
You see his eyes kind of like light up in recognition. Oh, many in clan, not guard. I like to protect. And you see his tail is wagging just a little bit.
Is he armed at all?
No.
No, with his class setup, he is specifically all about grabbing people, moving them, and shoving them out very quickly. The way of a open palm monk is all about pushing people around and knocking them prone and generally being an asshole.
I start
Pocket sand.
unstrapping my armor.
Look at him and say, he wants to fight you because you're a good grappler and he likes to grapple.
He looks at the dwarf, then
I start moving
back at the
again.
robot and points like out to outside.
I agree with that. Say, yeah, we can take this outside.
I finish taking off my armor, set it on the table, and then I go outside.
He will follow you outside. We can theater in mind this next part if you want. I don't feel like pulling you over to a different map.
Alright, I'm going to jump on him and try to pin him.
Alright, roll me a grapple check.
And I am not going to be raging, so that's just going to be regular athletics. 19.
You managed to get up onto his back, and you seem to have caught him a little off guard with how high you could jump. And he begins, like, to wrestle you. You have him grappled.
All right.
But
I just try to keep him pinned.
Alright, roll me another athletics check.
15.
He manages to get a hold of, like, your arm grappling you, or grappling him. He manages to rip your arm off, and using sheer strength, he is going to slam you down into the ground.
Like, rip my arm off?
Not literally rip your arm off. He just... He beat your grapple. He freed himself.
Alright.
And flung you to the ground.
I'm gonna try to get back on him and grapple him again.
Alright, one moment.
Oof.
Kento's sitting on the porch just smiling at the exchange.
You do take 13 points of subliminal or subdual damage.
Alright, let's see.
Subliminal.
You said,
I know.
you said
Subdual.
You said 13?
13 subdual damage.
Alright.
Alright, and you went to go grapple him again, but nothing doing. He is a little too big, and just, you're trying to... It feels like you're trying to lift a bus off of you.
Alrighty. What's he doing?
He is moving to pin you.
Alright.
I need you to roll me an athletics check.
Ow.
Jaren, you are now pinned.
Alright, I'm going to try to escape the pin the next round.
Alright, go ahead and roll it. Unfortunately, you cannot get this bull off of you. He is gonna just hold you in place.
Alright. Well, the next round I'm going to try to break out of it again. I'm still not going to rage.
Yep.
There we go.
Alright, one moment.
I don't know why I rolled that second one.
Jaren, you cannot escape from his grasp. He has got you pinned, and it seems like the more you struggle, the more he is just finding more opportunities to quickly like adjust himself so that you cannot move.
Can I, from grappling with him, insight his strength?
Sure.
How strong
Go ahead
he
and
is.
roll me an insight. That works. Definitely more built than you.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Actually, hold on a second. What is your strength?
My strength is 18.
Yep, he's got you beat.
I'm going to go ahead and slam down my right hand, signaling that I give up.
He lets you go.
I like him.
He's gonna walk back inside with you.
Well,
Jared, I'm so sorry. He kept critting against you. I'm so sorry.
Well,
Like without throwing his proficiencies, he rolled natural 20, 19, natural 20.
bullshit. I crocheted him.
I don't believe it. I call for a recount.
Take a screenshot and send it.
No.
No, I have a witness, but it's just I got rid of all my 20s. I'm sorry, Jaron.
He didn't get rid of all his 20s.
So, what are you guys gonna do with Roofbreaker?
I take out the spam.
You're gonna hire him?
Yeah.
All right. As he watches his
Good.
application, I'm sorry. What was that, Kento?
Just saying, I'd say that's a good stamp of approval.
And with that, you Roofbreaker also sees his application flutter off, and he is beaming. By the way, he is an all-black Minotaur, something straight out of a labyrinth. Like, he looks a little menacing, but, like, with how he looks right now, it's almost cute.
So,
And no, he does not have red eyes.
So basically, we're gonna have to put him in charge of shrubbery out front.
For David, he will speak to you with a very happy note. And he say, I begin immediately. Where is Post?
I'd say for now, just inside the door.
He's gonna stand right here.
Shouldn't we get him a chair or a stool or a desk or something?
That's up to you if you want to give him a seat.
I ask him, do you want a chair or something to lean against?
Well, he's going to be the doorman, right? So he's going to escort guests or tell them where to go. So maybe like just give him a little tiny office type thing right there.
You do see that he's perfectly fine with standing, and he tells you as such, but he doesn't mind sitting down, but he's not used to sitting down.
But like just maybe get him a desk so that way he can handle stuff like more official looking and shit. Maybe get him a tuxedo.
Alexander is laughing. I'm just saying this over. I'm hearing Jaron say this, and I'm laughing.
In terms of clothing, he barely has anything. The closest thing he's got is resembling some kind of gi to hide his genitalia.
Tuxedo it is.
He will look very sharp in just a collar and a cuff. But you could get him a tuxedo.
I smile at him and I say, my friend here wants you to wear a tuxedo and apparently sit behind a desk.
He doesn't have to sit.
I don't find that idea good for our guard.
If we're gonna post him at the door, he's gonna be a doorman, right?
Well, where do you want him to be if he's a guard?
I want him to be able to take out the trash. And if he's standing behind a desk, I really don't see how that impedes him. If he does it in a tuxedo, it makes our place look better.
Alright, well, at that point, we'd have to get a desk commission to be put there for it. Or a stand. Probably a stand. He's not comfortable to sitting. We don't want to make him sit if he doesn't want to.
You all hear the door open once more as a female tiefling enters through. She is a little taken aback by the Minotaur, but you see her kind of like blush, giggle, and move on. This is a plus-sized woman. Something not super seen a lot. This woman knows how to eat. She's not like morbidly obese, but she is a plus-sized woman. She is dressed pretty nicely. She's got a pair of nice slacks on, some like flat shoes, very professionally done. And she has a chef's coat on. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Which one of you is the boss?
All of us, technically. Well,
Oh,
the
ain't
three of us
that
here.
peachy. Well, I'm here for the chef position, and she is going to like reach into a purse, and she's going to pull out an application and unravel it at the robot boy over here. Fuck your name, Alex.
I'll say, well, you're going to get the same entry pass that all the other chefs have gotten. How much gold do you think you need to go buy all the ingredients to make whatever dish you're best at making?
Oh, I'll come with up in that secondary. And you see her kind of like begin to look up and begin to wonder to herself. On her application sheet, you see that her name is Mabel Spiceling. She's a female. She is 32. She is a tiefling, and her class is Phoenix Sorcerer. She has 13 years of being a guild artisan. She is a sous chef, or she was a sous chef for the Golden Crab, located over in the entertainment district. After having a fallout with her previous employer, she quit and is moving on to better opportunities.
So she worked at the Krabby Patty.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically. Well, do any of y'all have any type of allergies? Can you even eat, sir? And
I
she
can
kind
eat.
of points at you.
I can taste things, yes.
Brilliant. Any y'all got a particular fancy for something?
Bacon.
Bacon.
Orc bacon.
A little harder, but manageable.
Seafood.
Seafood. Okay. Okay. And she looks at you, Kento.
Kento.
Sorry, guys. Some mic problems.
That's fine.
Still having mic problems?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, we're a tavern. Probably something. Let's go for some breakfast foods once we eventually add rooms.
Okay, bacon, breakfast, seafood. I can come up with a little something.
You could wrap shrimp and bacon. That's always good.
And she kind of like gives you like a, oh, you know, that like, that's a good idea kind of look. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go cook y'all up something perfect for breakfast. Let's see. And she kind of like begins looking off to the side again as she puts her hands on her hips.
I ask her again, how much money do you think you'll need for this?
For all three is I could work with about 8 silver.
I hand over the 8 silver. Please bring back receipts.
Very well. Ta-ta! And she just kind of like waves as she happily leaves. In the meantime, I have to get all these rolling out at once because you guys hired a lot of people.
And I'd like to shotgun them as fast as possible.
That was your last chef, by the way. So now you've seen all 3 of your chefs.
All right, can someone give me a quick rundown on the first chefs?
The first chef was Billy. He's good at meats and preparing meats. He made really good pulled pork sandwiches. Then we have the Port, who is really good at preparing lots of food for a lot of people at once. It's generally wholesome, filling food, but it lacks luster. And then we have the lady who just came in.
And how many chef positions do we have?
2. You have 3 applications, but you hired 2, so you have to select 2. You hired 1 out of 2 guards.
One was the north one that tried to lift the hammer, and the other was the tiger guy.
It was a Knoll,
Yeah, the Knoll.
the Husky man.
Yeah, that's what it is. No, the Husky man. I'm thinking wrong.
Yep.
There.
So you're gonna have to choose 2 out of 3 because you've met 3 guards, but you hired 1, so you still have 2 more options. You hired all 3 maids. And all that's left for you guys now is your bartenders. So, among the first people you see coming in is a dwarf. He is gonna give you a look of like, oh shit, there's another dwarf in here. Hey, look at that. Just like very happy, very jovial. It's like, hey, this place is this place is automatically good in my eyes because I saw a dwarf.
That other dwarf is just gonna look down in disgust and then go sit down at an opposite table.
He pays you no mind as he puts an application on the table. Looking over his application, you see that his name is Balto Gingerbeard. He is a stout red-headed dwarf with a passion for ingestible poisons. Kento, you understand this. With most bars, if there is a dwarf or a halfling or a gnome or a similar small race of creatures, they do need to actually alter your bar to accommodate to their height. But upon hiring such a person, the changes will be made for you, but to a point of which it won't interfere with the more taller bartenders you might hire in the future. So it's kind of like one of those like free handicap installation kind of things. This dwarf has no specialties, but he knows ale like any other dwarf. You do see that, well, you do kind of get the smell that he has had alcohol already, but not enough to impair his functions, and he seems to be operating normally. Kento, you are way used to this. It's typical or standard dwarf behavior. He is a hill dwarf, specifically, and he is 78 years old, so he is rather young. He has worked in several taverns and inns, but can't seem to stick around for more than a year before either leaving for better opportunities elsewhere or has been fired from a workplace for violence. Again, standard dwarven behavior. Um, and that's just about it when it comes to his application. You do see that he does have other licenses at the ready to actually serve alcohol. It's like, name's Balto. It's a pleasure to meet y'all. And he takes a seat. I'm here for a bartending position. If there's anything I know, it's how to deliver some drinks.
Greetings, Balto.
I
What
could have
should
sworn
we-
I'd seen you and your friend before. I'm sure we've met at one point. You two are kind of a deal.
We've left a few places in shambles.
Well, no stranger to me. So, what I got to do?
You have to go over there and
Aye.
convince that dwarf to work with you.
He's not touching Agatha.
Ah, you named one as well. Don't worry, I won't touch your woman.
Come on, Jarn, we have to at least give him a chance.
He's not touching Agatha.
No problem there. Let's see what else he can do.
Oh, David, on his application sheet, he is a totem barbarian.
You just switch totem.
I believe it's bear. Hold on.
Yeah, bear is the all-resistant one. Just that? Only that?
Oh, nope, it's the eagle. And it's just the eagle. Since you guys are silent, you do see Balto begin to head over like to the bar. He's just like, do you want me to do something?
Jarn's not saying anything. He's just like has narrowed eyes, just like watching him intensely, and he's just like scowling like really badly.
You do see him eventually disappear into the storage room as
I follow him.
he's gonna eye Agatha.
Hey,
And-
Ern,
Oh no, he's not.
have you told us why you don't like dwarven culture yet, the group, or is that still just something I know out of character?
I don't know. You guys probably have noticed that I don't like dwarves.
Oh, I definitely noticed, but I was wondering if I knew why.
No, he's never explained why. I'm assuming Kenta would know, but you probably wouldn't, Alex. I've never once heard him explain it. Like, in-depthly.
6
But
feet
you do
away.
see...
6 feet away.
Oh, yes. My apologies. And you see that he is adhering to the 6-foot rule, but you see that he's trying to identify how it works. Because, like, you know that there are different models of what you guys got back here, so he's just trying to figure out, like, Okay, how would I? And you see him actually begin to like contemplate.
I want to see his reaction once he sees what the alchemy jug is in there. Do I have to like insight that or something?
You would if he notices it. Hold on. Oh, he's got a pretty good perception. He can see it.
So,
You do see that he does look rather impressed, and it was just like, oh, that explains why there's only one.
so any thoughts on things that you would change, or what do you?
I don't want to hear that from him.
You see that he raised a finger and opened his mouth as to say something, but you cut him off, so he just stops like, okay.
I look at him and say, maybe later, when you gain his trust and friendship.
I was gonna say, I didn't need to change anything. She's beautiful. And noticing that Jarn is gone, he turns to address both of you like, how am I gonna do my job if I can't touch it? Like, he's genuinely confused. He doesn't say it, but he mouths it to you two.
I look at Kento in a confused expression, just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Kento, you know exactly what's up. He's not referring to Jarn, but moreover, like, how am I supposed to do my job if I can't do my job?
It would be hard at best. Jaron seems to have some issues with his own people. If you can convince him that
I see.
you would be worthy of his working here, it would work. Other than that,
he kind of walks up to you and kind of like he wants to place a hand on you, like reassuringly, but he just kind of like holds up both of his hands. With all due respect, sir, I've been throwing applications left and right, and I don't want to be working in an establishment where I'm not welcome. I'll just go ahead and take my leave.
yes.
And then he's just gonna walk out. He'll shake your hand, and Jarn, he'll give you a wave as he exits.
Jarn is just totally going to ignore it.
Jaren, one of these days you're going to have to deal with whatever issue you have with your people. But
they're all the same.
So another person comes on in. She is really thrown off by the Minotaur at first, and then looks at Molly, then looks at the rest of you guys, and you see her expression is just killed, like, oh, okay, I get it. Hey, how you doing? David, what you see before you is a rather tall woman with dark brown hair, and it's currently done up in a ponytail. You see that she is very relaxed and calm at the moment. She places a piece of paper down. So, which one of you guys is the boss?
I point at us. There you say us.
Joint thing. I get it.
There's more. They're just not around.
Oh, all right, that's cool. On her application, you see that her name is Carla Yearning. On her application sheet, It is marked that she is a smoker. So she does commonly go on break. Under behaviors, there are actual notations. Um, Carla is a little quick to anger. She does have a little bit of anxiety, but she is a very responsible person and she's known to cut people off when they've had too much. She is not afraid to defend herself or take on the role of a guard. She has gone to anger management, but she is certainly certified behind the bar. She has worked at an establishment called the Trash Panda for 1 year before the business closed its doors. She's been working 2 jobs at the Hooded Lantern Tavern and the Nighttime Gale Inn. She's looking to put an end to both of those jobs and focus on one to better balance her workplace environment. It is noted that she has been part of a police investigation, but she has been absolved of any suspicious activity. She is a human. She is 25 years old, and under her class, she is a whisper bard.
So it says you worked for the Trash Panda. May we ask what shut that business down?
Drow. Drow. Long time ago, there was a brothel called the Trash Panda. Really awesome place by a lot of raccoon and animal folk. Um, Turns out the party that kind of erected that building turned out to be some shady individuals, and building got closed down due to some suspicion of corruption or something. And you guys are welcome to roll me a history check.
What is a trash panda?
It was the name of the brothel she worked for.
Yeah, but is it like
A
an
trash
animal?
panda is also known as a raccoon.
Ah, okay.
It rings a bell for all of you. You guys remember hearing something like that, but the details were definitely scrubbed at several points. So a lot of the information at this point has been muddled. But you do remember there being an investigation on a brothel that shut down. The three maids go, the three servants go behind the bar. You see that Will Coral is still kind of like, in a very hushed tone, is kind of instructing the girls, and they're both paying attention to Will Coral as he's pointing things out. So Carla over here. So you got any questions for me? Anything you want to know, want to see?
I look at Jard and say, "Do you want to show her how to work the pump?" Smirk at him.
I want to know if she can work it herself.
Right this way.
Just kind of like looking in between the three of you, she'll back herself out of the chair and give a bit of a sigh. Just a little exude of air as she goes into the back room, begins to inspect your equipment.
I tell them to grab a few cups, as I won't buy.
Jarn will also will mostly deal with ale and the like, but also check and see how you are at mixing drinks. We get
Mixing drinks? Yeah, I can mix some drinks for you.
guests that might request that.
Uh, do keep in mind, I do know a good number of specialties that, a bunch of other taverns do have. I picked up on them. I know how to make drinks. I know, the lingo of kids. She kind of like shakes her head at that. Uh, it won't be a problem when it comes to orders. You can hold that to you.
I
And she
want
kind of like points a finger at you, Kento, like, yeah, I got it covered.
I want her to roll a brewery check to see if she can figure out how to work Agatha with the alchemy jug attached.
I told you he wasn't done.
All right, so you want to see her basically work it?
Yes, I want to see her work it. Don't take that out of context.
All right, so you wanted to.
Speaking of which,
You asked for
are we
like a
talking
couple
like
of
apples, oranges, melons?
what?
Are we talking like apples, oranges, melons? What? Grapefruit?
I think,
I'm sorry, this is
he's
going
asking
right
about
over
her
my head.
headset.
Is this like going right over my head? Are you talking about her tits?
Yeah.
She's got double D's.
Okay, so we're talking
Got a
melons.
she's got a big chest.
Okay.
Keep in mind, she did say she worked in a brothel, and you could see why. She is definitely attractive, but like she could almost be a model if it wasn't probably for her a little bit of her sour disposition.
Is
I
there
look at her.
is there any way that I could work with Kento to try to figure out what her charisma would be behind the bar?
She is like sexy mom. She's radiating almost like sexy mom levels. Just to let you know. Go ahead and roll an insight, I guess.
Can I give Kento advantage since we're kind of discussing it?
You're discussing it while you're looking at her ass as she works the pump. Speaking of, by the way, she like once you like hand her a cup, not only does she know how to work it, but like you see her do it as though it's almost second nature to her. Like she's not even thinking about it. In a way that would almost make you proud.
I tell her, it says you're a bard in your application. Think for us while you're doing it.
Oh, it's I'm I'm not that kind of bard. I'm sorry. I haven't sung in years.
Hey,
What type of bard are you? What is your muse?
She kind of like gets up and turns around to you. She's going to approach you, and with a smile, she's just going to say, I can do many things. I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw, David.
Charm behind the bar. Most drunk men will tip her well, I would say.
So, Alex, like, when she says, I can do many things, you get, like, mega mom energy. Like, it's. I can get people to listen to me if I speak up. I'm that kind of mom. Like, almost gangster shit. Mafia boss almost level. She's radiating that kind of confidence to you. It's a little malicious, a little playful, but mostly in a commanding tone. Kind of plays in with the whole mom energy she's vibing.
So I just say, so your muse is just taking command. Got it.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I have seen this model before, so I do know how to work something like this. I can operate it just fine, and I could even make repairs if need be.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know it's a little early, but did you need anything else? Did you want me to do anything else?
Mix us a handful of your specialty drinks, something that you think would sell well.
Also, how many more bartenders are we expecting? Because I know we threw off one and we need two.
There would be one more following her. All right, let's see what we can get here.
I would pull out my bottle of damned good stuff that I got, and I would come out and I would set it on the bar.
You know, that does raise up a good question. Let's see what you do have in stock. And she'll take note of that, but she begins kind of like looking in barrels. She understands the alchemy jug contraption, but she's looking to see if you have anything she could mix with.
Quick question. Because it's a new day, I'm always looking to be in town anyway, but not do anything. Can I have my bag of holding and my alchemy jug up? So they technically didn't state that for a new day. Yeah. I'll hand her my alchemy jug and say it hasn't been used yet.
Oh, perfect. I can make a couple of things with this. Okay, let's see. We got any ice? Well, you have a chamber for ice, but no actual ice. Let me look up something real quick.
We need to hire an ice method or something.
Will Coral, do you have any ice cantrips?
Will Coral is... You don't know where Will Coral is at the moment.
Wilco is not allowed
Or
to
your
use...
other two mates at the moment.
I'll go find him.
Wilco is not allowed to use magic for the next 7 days.
What if we need him to do it for specific things that require magic that go past cleaning?
Wilco is not allowed to use magic for the next 7 days. He's got to prove himself to me.
Alright. Wilco, for future understanding, do you have any ice magic that you can fill our freezer with?
Oh, certainly.
Alright. You start doing that after 7 days, because apparently Darren's being stubborn on that.
He'll nod at you.
Good to know.
I also, if you want to in your free time, try to teach them magic, that would be awesome.
I'm not an instructor.
Again, it's a suggestion, nothing you have to do.
Very well. And then after that, the two girls are going to go over to a booth. Yeah, all three of them are going to go to a booth. The two girls over here begin chatting while Will Coral is reading a book. Kind of like, this place is pretty generally clean right now, but they are taking a little quick, like you see that they have notes and they're studying them, but they're mostly gossiping while he's just kind of like reading a book, taking the load off. You see that with Carla over here, she is going to take an alchemy jug. She's going to pick up 3 different cups and place them in front of her. And she is going to start doing some shit. Hold on. Before she takes the alchemy jug and she holds it up to her, like, near her head, as though it was a shaker, but before she begins, she's like, Do y'all have any tastes, preferences? You looking for something in particular? What would you like?
Coconut.
Coconut.
Just,
All right.
Otherwise, just surprise us and we'll see what you come up with.
All right. Now, give me one moment. So she begins shaking up the alchemy jug. And for Jarn, she's going to begin to pour. And what comes out is it's like a light brown, clear drink, similar to that of a tea. But it quickly fades to a cloudy white. She's gonna put the alchemy jug down. She's gonna pick up your drink, and you see that with her touch, the glass begins to like frost over. As she drops like maybe a couple of ice cubes in there and begins to shake it around with the movement of the finger, but without like putting the finger actually in. She's directing, the actual contents within. And then she is going to slide it over to you and then garnish it. If you do take a sip out of it, it's a hybrid between a Long Island iced tea and like a pina colada. Certainly a different mix, but you get your splash of coconut. It's actually rather refreshing.
I want to try this with coffee next time.
All right, coffee for next time. Molten Rock Man. Let's see what we got. What would you like? You see her kind of like look up and down, and then she puts her hands on her hips like she forgot something very important. She kind of like shakes her head as she tries to come up with a different idea. She's going to take the alchemy jug, shake it a couple of times, and she's going to pour out for you a rather bright orange drink. You see that it does get to darker shades of like a goldenish orange. And it's, again, repeating the same motions of picking up the glass, chilling it, and directing the flavor within. And she's going to slide it over to you. Once you take a sip out of it, you're hit with like an orange creamsicle kind of flavor. It's definitely smooth. It's pretty sweet, but it's the nice amount of orange pucker that kind of makes you want to drink more. Like, it's a pretty fun little drink. That right there is popular with the ladies. I imagine if you get a lot of female clientele, they're going to be ordering something akin to that at the very least. And with you. She thinks to herself for... I'm sorry?
Kinto tries a little bit and then motions to Elizabeth. Ladies, do you want to try a couple sips?
Elizabeth will be... She'll kind of like, oh, I would love some. You see her follow but not say anything. Elizabeth will walk up to the bar.
Wait a minute. How old are these maids?
Penelope was a little underage, didn't you say?
Well, underage for our standards.
You see Penelope just sit over here.
We were in Germany.
Wait a minute, girls. How old are you?
It's on their applications.
I can't read.
Was 16 and was it 23?
Elizabeth was 23, and the halfling was 16.
And are there age limits in OrinCraft?
Yeah, there is.
Penelope, can you drink?
And she kind of like sinks into her stool. No. I'm a wee bit too young.
Can we get
So,
her
how long?
something non-alcoholic?
Sure, I can do that for her. A way she can participate. So why not? You see,
And Alex, will we? Sorry, will we have any issues with her working here at a tavern?
in that aspect, no. So long as she does not ingest any of the, alcohols here, she can work in this establishment because
Good
she
to
is
know.
old enough.
Who is going to be supervising that? Who is going to be responsible for that?
I assume Will over there will be, since he seems to be taking charge.
Well, we can't just delegate responsibility onto him just because he's helping out.
Are we going to
Well,
stay
if we
here about
appoint
something
him
that we don't know?
supervisor,
Well, that would have to be up to him because he's already
I
told us he's
I
not.
certainly wouldn't mind. Make me a cleaning supervisor or management. I would be happy to take such a position.
Okay, well, that solves that problem then.
And now, I should mark that. Hold on.
Mind you, Jarn is no lawyer. Which reminds me, do we have to have a lawyer?
Your lawyer died.
I am the closest thing to your lawyer because I know most of the laws in OrinCraft.
So we would probably want to get a lawyer.
Probably.
One
Best
that's
bet.
one that's not prone to death.
Now, because of Alexander's connection with the house, he can easily get a lawyer.
or we stay out of situations where we need a lawyer. But
That too.
never mind. Never mind.
You can never stay out of those situations, especially in a place like this. They will come and find you.
The rest of
True
you are
enough.
going to see that Carl over here is going to shake up the alchemist jug, and she is going to produce a slushy for her.
Did Alex
The
get
g-
his drink yet? I didn't hear that.
Nope, she just wanted to include her.
I'm fine waiting.
And for you,
I tell her how my insides work so that she can either make something that actually I can use to clean
don't
myself.
worry about that. I know all about your kind. Check this out. And she's going to begin to shake up the alchemist jug, and she's going to begin to pour oil inside of a cup for you. She's going to pick it up. You don't see any signs of chilling, but you do see her tamper with it, and she's going to hand it off to you.
Or just down it.
It tastes like a rum and coke. It feels great on your insides, and it actually tastes completely different for you. And you know, just by the taste of it that your body needs it and it tastes great to you.
So it's not one of the things I have to keep in my sack.
Nope. She has made a robotic drink for you.
Well, that works. She sold on me that she can do that. Alexander says out loud, though, that works. She sold on me that she can do that.
With that, she begins like, once you guys are done, she'll be chilling around until you eventually hand her the cup back, and she'll just begin to clean it. She'll even like look down at some of your wares, and she was going to attempt to clean those, but she realizes they've already been cleaned. She's just, oh, okay, I guess I don't need to touch that. And then she'll just lean on the counter. Yes, by the way, I need the rest of you to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oof.
Kento, you're feeling the good. That was actually really good. Yeah, this is really awesome. You're not drunk, but you felt that.
Well, Jar. There was a little kick to that.
Eh,
Yeah, it's part of the pucker.
it was good.
Like I said, I know a good number of specialties. Kind of been around and seen what other people have to offer. Picked up, the best from places.
So how about...
And by the way, if you guys do decide to hire me, if I'm not here, I'm around in those taverns, kind of getting a feel for what they're serving. So, expand my horizons a bit.
How about no drinking on duty, no other jobs on duty?
Well, I mean, if you hire me here, I won't need the other jobs.
7 days.
Or her free time will be reconnaissance.
7 days for a trial, and then we'll decide whether or not to hire you.
What kind of trial?
To see how well you work with the customers.
And she just kind of like, all right. Well, okay. She's totally down. And yes, like, as she's leaning into this counter, she's not doing it on purpose. It's completely subconscious to her, but she is displaying her cleavage. She
Kento?
doesn't even mean to do it.
Kento? Kento. Oh, wow. He really is kind of buzzed there.
I'm fine with the trial. We need to hire one other, I believe you said.
Your last interviewee is for another bartender, yeah.
Well, at least this one you'll talk to.
I pull out the stamp. If no objections, I'm gonna stamp.
Let's go for it.
Stamp.
This little bird better bring us back a copy.
All right, and the piece of paper flies off. She gives a pretty warm smile. Just like, all right, and with that, she also hands you a piece of paper, Alex. It's basically another bit of a agreement that with this particular bartender, the type of alcohol that you're going to be getting is what she can make. So you guys will get a supply of alcohol to officially serve to people.
So this is just her list.
It's basically, yeah, what she's going to be contributing to your tavern, essentially.
Wait.
Because she comes with perks.
I hand this over to Jaren.
Wait a minute. Wait. What about my alcohol?
Are you a bartender? As you hear her just ask.
I control Agatha. I'll be making our specialty.
Well, as soon as you do come up with a recipe, just hand it over to me so I can, make sure it's good for consumption and everything. And she's just kind of like waving her arms in similar Will Coral fashion. Yeah, once you're ready, just let me know about it and I'll be able to put it on the menu.
Can I insight that to see if it's all on the up and up and there's no
Sure, go for it. Roll me an insight.
And my insight is terrible, but we'll just go for it.
You get the notion that she's just trying to wave it along, but it is on the up and up. It's basically saying, like, if you were trying to sell it, it would technically be illegal. But if she was essentially, handling everything, then she could easily put it on the menu.
We'll discuss it with Kata later.
But it is on the up and up. It's also known as a paper of like letting the city of OrinCraft know that you are officially open for business and you guys are going to start seeing customers pour in because you have an official bartender. Therefore, you can actually begin to serve and make money.
Is there any further licensing or anything that we need to look at for being brewers, or just go through the bartender?
It's basically going through the bartender. If you wanted to make an actual brewery, that's a different thing altogether, requiring OC. I could put it in the renovations list if you wanted to make an actual full-on building dedicated to brewing. That's for another time.
I am going to go ahead and flip the closed sign to open.
All right. But yeah, it's basically a paper saying you're good to go. And dependent on who you guys hire will pull in different resources. So with Carla, you just basically said, get me the basic materials so I can work with those. It's not exactly poor, but it's not aristocratic either, if that makes sense. You're in a nice, modest area when it comes to the kinds of alcohol you'll be selling. So, with that, Carla's just gonna speak up a little bit. You mind if I go run a few errands? I'll be back in 30 minutes. I just need to gather my things.
What are you going to gather?
Just stuff from my friend's apartment.
DM, how long would it take me to actually go out and gather some things? A suit for our Minotaur.
Well, you would have to bring him probably to the actual tailor shop. There is one close by because you guys are in the crafting district. There's one within reasonable walking distance. Then you'd have to get him measured so that they can make a suit in his size, and it will fit comfortably, but he'll still behave in like combat. This little trek will probably take you around like an hour and 20 minutes to accomplish.
All right. What if I wanted to do that and put a down payment on that, but also want to get him something just loose fitting that they have on stock that he could wear tonight?
They'll probably tack on another like 5-10 minutes.
All right.
Because there are more creatures like him in the city, so they're not completely thrown off by his size and stature.
I asked
The
Kento if
collar
I can,
and cuffs is sounds like a reasonable workaround.
Give him a vest.
A good vest, yes.
I asked Kento if I can borrow some money. Kento, I'm going to go get a suit. Can I borrow some money?
No problem.
Also, I need to bring the Minotaur. Can I take you with me? I try to like mime it to him.
I look over at the Minotaur.
He gets the notion of follow me, so he'll just nod and begin to follow.
I say, wait 1 second. He's taking you to a tailor so that you can get measured for a suit, so don't be confused.
He'll nod.
All right, and I will disappear for about hour and a half or whatever, and I guess she'll be back before I will.
Yep, you two take off. If there's no objections, she'll take off too.
I tell her, do you need help carrying things?
No, I got it covered.
Alright.
Thank you so much. And she gives you like you know she's still got it. She gives you one of those playful smiles as she walks away.
Oh, by the way, did I convince Kento to give me any money?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So, during this time, what do you guys do?
I'm awake for the last bartender.
Alright. You do see that some of the maids begin to get back to work, as well as Will Curl. They're just doing, like, general cleaning. Dusting, wiping things down, keeping busy. Eventually your bartender comes back. Like 20-30 minutes later, if you guys really aren't doing anything. You see that she's now a little more... Like, she dropped some stuff off, too. She's coming back in a still formal, but nice attire. A little more on the relaxed side. Hair's nice. Did some quick touch-ups. She's ready to go. She's ready to work. In the meantime, while Jared and Roofbreaker is gone, another individual is going to enter through your doors. It's like, well, look at this fine establishment. Hello! And this individual extends a hand out towards Molly. He doesn't know if she'll respond, though.
Molly curtsies and points towards me.
Oh. Hello. David, what you see before you is something a little rare. This is a one-eyed creature. He is dressed up very nicely. He's already kind of in almost tuxedo wear. It's definitely a customized suit. If if he was any other race of creature, you would think he's a noble. He's dressed that nicely. But both Kento and Alexander, roll me a nature or arcana check. All right. Kento, it is a little off-putting, and you might chop it up to maybe a tiefling, a one-eyed tiefling, maybe. But Alex, you know this creature to be Beholderkin. He places an application in front of you, and you see that his name is Lucas. Not Lucra, Lucas. He is 32, he is male, and he does have a class listed. He is an eloquence bard. He has worked for the Golden Egg Tavern in the Middle General District for 3 months before being removed. He has also worked for the Blue Moon Inn in the General District for 3 years, but left voluntarily. But the bigger notation that you get from that is the fact that he worked in the Middle Districts. So you can kind of believe he's made at least some contributions to the town as a whole to have access into the Middle Districts, but you've heard of some special occasions being made. Lucas is a one-eyed beholderkin with a welcoming, sharp-toothy smile and has a specialty in mixed cocktails and drinks. He does take the time out of his day to create custom syrups and drinks in order to ensure the freshness of taste in every drink that he makes. If it was not for his unsettling looking face and prejudice around him, his talents would be definitely worthy of remaining within the Middle Districts. But it seems as though no one is willing to hire him. If he is feeling particularly generous, he will mix in a hidden magical effect to uplift spirits both literally and figuratively. It is a pleasure to meet you. And then he also extends a hand out to you, Alex.
I shake it.
Glorious, glorious. He'll come around the table and he'll go to shake your hand, Kento.
How many hands does this thing have?
Just 2.
What was the name again?
Lucas.
Lucas.
Just
Pleasure to meet you.
Lucas. I have made many a drink in my time, but I do have specialties in mixed cocktails and drinks, and I tend to add something a little extra. Would you care to have a sample?
Well, if you have anything on you and what we have available.
Oh, I have plenty of things on me, sir. And he opens up a pouch, and you see him pull out like a mixing bowl.
I look impressed. Impressed is on my face right now.
You see that Carla's beginning to look in a bit as he pulls out bottle after bottle after bottle of really nice name brand liqueurs.
I look over and I say, do you want to come over and watch who you are probably going to be working with?
She will happily come over and check this out. I can mix something on the spot right here if you would like.
Go ahead.
Do you have any sort of preferences or tastes?
You can make anything that works for me properly that doesn't taste like a rum and coke.
She kind of just looks at you. Very well, let's see what we have here. Something that does not taste like a rum and coke. Let's see. As you don't see where he pulls this out from, but he produces a large glass. He kind of puts it down, and while his eyes are kind of averted, thinking about what he's going to make, his body is already moving in front of him, and he is first mixing in a syrup, and then he adds one or two different alcohols in and begins to mix them up a bit. Jaren, you re-arrive at this point to see this creature working.
Presenting Sir Roof.
Ignore the whole thing. Walking around with Jaren is a rather nice-looking Minotaur who seems to be a little uncomfortable, but he's doing it for the job.
We're going to be getting him better dubs soon, and I actually recommended to the shop that we all get uniforms over there in the same style. We'll also have to schedule a day for Tempest to get hers.
Look at you with a blank expression on my face, and you immediately see my clothes flash through 3 different options. And you see an upscale one that matches the guy who's mixing crates across from me. It's currently that level of upscale, matching the suit of the guy who just walked in, of the Minotaur who's now wearing the suit.
One moment. God damn it.
I got a suit. Thank you.
And I'm going to be strapping back on my armor that I left on the table.
You see this creature, he's producing a lot of these items from his bag. You see him, crack open an egg, but save, the yolk from it. And to dispose of it, he just eats the remains. He puts in some lemon juice, some sugar. He puts in some nice whiskey in there. And as he kind of begins to shake it, you actually get a nice kind of beat as he's shaking it. He actually manages to pull out some shakers too. A lot of the stuff he's pulling out are from his bag. He has brought a lot of his own materials, and she is impressed as well as a little jealous, but it's just damn, I should have brought my shit. I could have done so much better. But I have the job, so she's happy. And then he is going to slide over this drink to you. And as he's sliding it over to you, Alex, you see that it begins to glow. A neon green of sorts. It's like a neon green going into a lime green. And it has a little bit of froth at the top. Here you are, one thunderbolt.
I down it with a 16 for my constitution.
Alright. It's definitely potent. Definitely a whiskey sour. It does go down smooth. You definitely do get the zing coming from it. And with your 16, it doesn't knock you on your ass immediately, but you definitely enjoy the effect you feel from it. Even every now and then, you feel or even see sparks of electricity kind of coalesce around your body as though it was an aura. David, for the next hour, you have resistance to any lightning and thunder damage.
Well, that one seemed to lube your cogs.
So,
And
DM,
then what's up?
what time of day is it, and what kind of lighting do we have in here? Do we have like a chandelier or something, or do we got like some kind of torches on the walls, or what?
You have a series of little wisps of light that you can basically command at any time that surrounds the walls as well as rows of the roof. Um, they are tiny specules of, or they're, it's just a light source, so you can't exactly break it. It is brightly lit in here.
All right, just want to make sure. What time of day is it?
Right now, with Lucas being here, it's about like, I'm gonna say 11 in the morning.
All right, that's all.
So we're off to a good start of day
Actually,
drinking.
it's more like 10 in the morning. I'm sorry. Even at this point, you see Mabel come back. That red tiefling, the other chef. Yeah, she's now back. And she's just kind of looking at what's going on. She has a bunch of like stuff on her. And some of the maids like go to help her out. Well, actually, Elizabeth goes to help her out, and they immediately just begin to head off into the kitchen.
Yes, ladies, if you could show her the kitchen.
Yeah, Elizabeth was already on it. Uh, here we go. Well, he would not have no idea that this was made recently, so. Kento, in. Let me think about how I'm going to say this. You see that he produces a pitcher with small little blades at the bottom. And you see him with, as though it's like a parlor trick or you're showing someone like sleight of hand magic. You see him wave both of his hands over this pitcher as ice begins to fall in it, and then oranges, and then like shades of coconut. Or he has the ingredients to a pina colada. And as water begins to like pour inside of it, he kind of like closes it off with a bit of magic, and you see it's basically a blender. He blends something like right in front of you. With those shavings, he kind of like with a mage hand moves it over so it's kind of hovering him in midair as he takes out an actual pineapple, cuts it, and drains it of its juices, and puts it in another glass. And then he gets he gets some rum and combines a lot of these things together. Shaves off even a little bit of nutmeg. And it doesn't matter where he's working, none of the things he's grabbing fall to the ground. And essentially, he has made a nice blended juice cocktail for you. And he's going to slide it over to you. I call this one Cure Light Moods.
Kento will give a big gulp of it.
And yes, it's very similar. The taste is very similar to that of a pina colada, but you get hints of the orange and pineapple juice. A little bit of like, maybe like cream of coconut or something. But this is definitely a treat. This is something like you would order for celebration of something. But you're not even hurt. But you understand that if you drink that while you were hurt, you would have recovered 12 hit points.
What's this? Another bartender?
Yep.
Bartender. As Lucas laughs to himself.
I ask him, what is your muse, by the way?
My what?
Your muse.
My muse.
You say you don't
Um,
instrument.
Well, I do song and dance. Uh, if you install a stage, I could even do some performances.
Can you make a coffee?
I can make all sorts of things, and yes, I can make coffee.
I need a coffee.
You need a coffee. Well, I will. Why not right now? And so, after putting like some of the items away, you see that he pulls out a coffee pot and he actually begins to brew some coffee right then and there. Again, like pulling out a nice little tray where he could put the cloth and put like coffee grinds. You see him again slide a hand tricks, pour it in there, and then he presses a button. Some
And Alexander will
illumination
type up, "You
lights
want
up
some?"
and it's starting to go off.
Like kind of one of
Alexander.
those, kind of like one of those glass
Like a Keurig.
percolators.
Yeah, it's like a Keurig. But it's not like popped into anything. Or it's not plugged into anything. As that brews, he's actually going to mix up something a little different, but I need to be right back. I need to pee.
Bio breaks are not allowed.
So, magical drink maker. What do you think?
Would definitely come in handy. Long day dungeon diving. Get a good fix-up chaser.
So yeah, I don't know how much I spent on that. So DM will have to get back to you on that, Kento.
Yep.
And Kanto can't cover. Alexander will on the rest of the gems he has to cover. He even pipes up and says that when you say that to Kanto.
All right, where was I? Oh, yeah. So as he is brewing his, essentially your cup of coffee, he actually takes a look at you, Jarin. He said, "You wanted coffee, but which dwarven ale is your favorite?" As he produces 3 bottles of different branded whiskeys and ales that are dwarven that are on par with what you have. Would you like to sample one of these, or would you like for me to combine them all together?
Oh, that don't work. I guess the second one is my favorite.
Excellent. We'll just go with the second bottle. And what he is going to craft for you, Jarn, is an Irish coffee. Well, the equivalent of an Irish coffee. Which isn't really too super complex. It's just coffee, whiskey, cream. But he's doing it in such a way that you see, like, it's almost like a coffee cafe sort of deal, like where people go to get the nice little designs in the froth of their coffee. It seems something on par to that. It's not a particularly big cup, but it is still a sizable one to walk around with and have in the mornings. But he does offer it to you, but you know, you're kind of over there. He'll just slide it to like this empty part of the table, and he'll motion to it for you to get.
All right, I go over there and take a taste of it, and then start draining it.
All right. And as you drink this, I'm just gonna call it dwarven coffee whiskey or just dwarven whiskey, whatever. I really don't care too much. Um, for the next 10 minutes, you have a D10 of inspiration dice.
Okay then.
You drank one of his bardic inspirations.
But does the coffee wake me up?
Yeah, it's coffee. it's. I mean, it goes down smooth. It's. It is warm. But you kind of suspect that in the actual, coffee motion of it. Like, if you spend 5 minutes, you'll feel the energy that you get. You know, just by how potent this roast was, you're about to be uncomfortably fast in about 5 minutes.
Can you give me another description of this bartender? You said it was Beholderkin. I mean, like, what do its hands look like? What does its face look like? What can I see beyond the suit?
One moment. Go ahead and take a look into Discord. That is the closest thing to what you see.
Okay, so we're talking like one big eye in the middle of the head.
Yeah.
What's different about it?
He doesn't have horns.
I still have
Nor
eggs
does
in
he
it.
have wings.
I does
but
have eggs in it.
say what?
Does the eye have the X in it?
Yes, it does.
And the rest of him is like a normal human. His
Yeah,
hands. And
it's
everything?
normal. It is normal humanoid. His fingers are a little elongated, but he's got like 4 fingers and thumbs. He's definitely more on the aberrant side of things, but his skin is a little scaly at parts, but it's like a nice dark purple. He's got one huge, like, big red eye with like a little X in it. You see that he kind of has what almost looks like freckles, but pointed ears, but a nice cut, a nice slicked backed cut. He's definitely well groomed for himself. Definitely practices good oral hygiene as well. He dresses to the nine, super fancy. Like, if it was a swallowtail jacket, like a swallowtail trench coat jacket, nice suit, nice dress pants, dress shoes. He's got an earring on. Like, he is fancy.
So what's his name again?
Lucas.
Lucas. And he is applying for a bartender position.
Yes.
And he already has a whole bunch of instruments of his own.
So what do you guys say to this Gentlemen,
I don't mind hiring him.
I'd say we could definitely give him a shot as well. We need to for the position. He's definitely got some unique skills that could
Uh,
come in handy.
I'm sorry to cut you guys off. One more thing he needs to do. With one more remaining glass, you see him put a clear, obviously glowing liquid into a cup, and then he takes a full on peach and puts it into the cup and he pushes it down, but as it goes into this liquid, it like the peach dissolves immediately and the drink takes on a pinkish hue. He what looks like he is pulling out the skin, it actually in fact turns into a different kind of flower entirely. And then he summons a straw and puts it in there and slides it over to your other bartender. And she happily takes it and drinks it, and she's just, you see her just like kind of shrink in on herself like she's tasted something super sour, but it's obvious she's enjoying it.
$7 you can't have any other jobs while you're on this job. No drinking while you're on the job. After that, we'll decide whether to hire you or not.
You actually see him begin to contemplate that. It's just like, why would I work here for 7 days for free under a trial and then leave if I'm not hired? But you see him actually contemplate that, just like, I'm sorry, sir, but you can hire me or not. I will be happy to work for you under certain conditions, but
We
I
can
will
hire
not
you
use
for.
my things for free.
We can hire you for a week, and if you work out, we'll keep you beyond that week.
Ah, much better.
Yeah, it, we're not suggesting working without pay. We're just saying it will be a trial period to make sure it works out for both of us.
Ah, I see, I see.
No binding contracts beyond that point until.
Same agreement everybody else has had and getting.
Very well. And he like puts his arm behind him as like to present himself and waiting for you to put the stamp on his application.
I'll stamp it.
All right, it turns into a bird and it flutters away, and with that, Lucre will then display basically the same thing Carla did, just more sets and documentations and paperwork displaying that, you know, with him in the tavern, he'll be able to sell the goods, he'll be able to create specialty drinks, but you do see that his price is a little higher comparatively to like Carla's. And what I mean by price is like a lot of the things he's going to be ordering for specialty drinks are a little heftier in price. It will ultimately affect the money you gain at the end of the month. But he does have the knowledge and know-how to be very successful.
Give him a week. See what he can do. See what it looks like for us.
Excellent. And then the two of them are going to begin to walk off, namely behind the bar. As they begin to chat and talk amongst themselves.
We are now open. Who wants to go out in the middle of the street and try to attract customers?
Eventually, Mabel is going to re-emerge with three entrees. Hello, darlings. I hope y'all are hungry. Oh, and give me one moment for your change, sir. What she displays in front of all three of you is definitely a breakfast platter. You have nice scrambled eggs, some nice hearty thick slices of perfectly cooked bacon. Um, for the main protein in there, she has gathered you guys some catfish, and she's made a little bit of tartar sauce on the side in the event of your guys' taste buds. And a side of grits. Everyone has 2 biscuits with butter honey or honeyed butter, whichever you prefer, and 3 different kinds of jams.
How many catfishes are here?
There are 3 catfish.
Are the catfish, how are they done? Are they fried, deep fried, boiled, breaded, what?
They are fried. Fried with, they've got their own seasonings. You can definitely smell the spices that are on there. And with the other servant, Elizabeth is going to deliver condiments. Or, sorry, tableware.
Doing
Sorry.
that, I'm gonna
Silverware.
summon Cheshire.
The cat has been
He's
summoned?
the guy who we need to give fish to, right?
'Twas part of the deal. The cat's gonna reappear here on this table.
I hand him the fish.
As he takes a deep yawn, you just put some catfish in his mouth, and he's just like, oh!
I put it in front of him.
Okay. You just hear, oh my god, that smells amazing. And he will just begin to eat. As the 2 female servants look at this cat, they're a little frozen with excitement. They're like, oh my god, it's a cat. Oh my god! The other 2 has taken notice of this cat. The bull looks at the cat, and the other 2 turn their heads to the cat. He is immediately put on guard, and it shows.
I look at the bull, still having. Oh no, actually, I have to cast comprehend language again. I do. And I tell him, don't worry, the cat is going to be a continual patron here. Any problems he caused, just let him finish it. I'm sorry. Help him if need be, but he'll probably be able to finish it.
Alright, he will snort with approval.
I'm going to walk up to Penelope and say that he loves chest rubs.
And she's just gonna go and basically assault Cheshire.
What's her name again? I'm forgetting her name. Maple. And I say, you will be probably cooking randomly throughout the week or once a day a fish meal for him.
Oh, I will happily give it to this little kitty cat. And she'll, Cheshire is now being bombarded by 3 girls. And just as how you'd expect, a child to hold up a cat and hug it and love it, he is being assaulted. And you can hear just the wails of, oh my god!
I want to eat!
My fish! As he's getting pets and belly rubs, he's like, stop molesting me!
All according to Kaikaku. Translator note, Kaikaku means plan.
And they're just gonna love this cat for a little bit. Give him his torment, but he gets his meal eventually.
I eat what's left, and I actually walk over to the meal and take a bit because I say I'm testing it because it's the first time.
She's gonna hand you back 2 silver.
I take it.
And she gives you a receipt. showing that all of her purchases were in order, and she even found a couple of deals.
I just hand the 2 silver to Kento because I don't really need it.
Speaking of which, DM, we did not really decide how much the rental tuxedo was going to be. I just told Kento that he'd have to get with you on that.
Rental tux. A rental tux.
We would be returning it to them after they finished his regular suit, and I don't know how much his regular suit is going to be and how much of a payment I had to put on that, so on and so forth.
1 gold and 2 silver.
Alright. I
Yep, to rent it out.
give Kento the remainder of whatever he gave me, so that way he just has to deduct 1 gold and 2 silver.
Alrighty.
And also, I was mentioning to them that we should probably all try to get matching suits sometime in the near future.
I asked, do you want to try to match mine? The one I'm currently sitting in?
Something that more defines the group.
I can get this change. It'll take a bit, but
Maybe like tuxedos with broken lines on them or some shit.
Or matching armor.
Or matching armor. Have all of our armor have like broken streaks through it.
Alright, and with that, you are not expecting any more applications for the foreseeable future. You have met everyone that has applied to your place.
Alright, so who are we missing for actual job positions?
You have selected 2 chefs, but have yet to hire any.
well, we've gone through 3 chefs, but we haven't hired any.
Yeah, you've
I would
interviewed
love-
3 chefs.
So those were this one that gave us this meal that we're eating right now, and
Yes, the breakfast meal. The tiefling with the breakfast meal, then the orc with the shepherd's pie, and then Billy with his barbecue.
I like Billy, and I'm still digging into this meal right now and deciding whether we like this one better than the orc.
It is definitely a full breakfast she gave to you guys. It's going to take you like a while to really go through everything. But it tastes phenomenally.
Is there bacon wrapped shrimp?
There is not bacon wrapped shrimp. It's more she was being cost effective. The shrimp would have costed more in hindsight. But she went with the more seafood option, which is what the catfish was for.
Well, catfish is lake and river.
I'm gonna try to taste the catfish with the bacon.
It is like peanut butter and jelly. It goes super well with one another. And you can get the combined flavors. The flaky crust is just enough for the fish to give it a nice crunch. With its seasoning, it ties in very well to the actual bacon, and it's a mouthful of joy.
And I recommend that to everyone. Too bad Tempest isn't here.
I walk over and if the cat is still being assaulted, I take a bit more fish and eat it with the bacon.
You see that Cheshire is helplessly on his back as he's being loved by 2 women.
As I do that, I'm like, let the man eat, please.
You see that there's just like a singular bite mark in the fish, but he's just a little too happy to move.
So, Cat, we lost a halfling.
Oh my god. Oh, that's unfortunate. What? Right there.
Actually, it looks like a whole bunch of halflings were killed. Do you know anything about it?
You see that these two like stop petting the cat in order to like pay a little more attention to the situation at hand. Um, these two are trying to mind their own business, but they are listening. Uh, yes and no.
I look at Jared. Not a conversation for now.
When then?
I know nothing about the families in particular,
Do you know about
but
the killing?
what I do know is that shouldn't have happened there. OrinCraft is protected from magical affairs. So that would mean someone basically punched a hole to allow that to be there. Maybe it was the use of a ritual, or an arcane sigil, or forces that are beyond the norm. It could have been another god. A powerful being that could jump between the planes would be capable of doing such a thing. Or at least passing on the knowledge of how to do it.
Could such a thing, by any means, have its sights set on us?
Doubtful. Did you meet with any sort of, I don't know, shadowy figures other than that Rakshasa?
Does the halfling count itself?
True, he was a warlock. They'll just kind of shrug. I don't know, maybe.
If Garfield
I mean,
was here, he could
considering
explain it better.
the nature of his weapon, yeah, there's a very real possibility it could have been sniffed out. You should watch your backs. And then just these two begin to like, what?
Well, as adventurers, we should always watch our back.
Sir
Yeah,
Roof,
that's
do you have any problem with that?
Who are you redressing?
I said, Sir Roof, do you have any problem with that?
He just kind of looks over at you and just snorts.
Good man.
He flexes for you.
The suit bulges. That's how you know.
He doesn't really know what you said, but it sounded like you were questioning his conviction, so he responds with muscles.
One muscle freak to another. It's, have you guys ever seen Full Metal Alchemist?
Yep.
Yes.
It's like no words need to be spoken. It's just man.
I just kind of flex my pecs back at him. Alright, so who else do we need to hire?
A chef.
I am for Billy.
Two. Well, you need two because he hired two chefs.
I would say our tiefling friend here and Billy might be a good combination.
I'm willing to give this tiefling 7 days as well as Billy. See how they work together. And yes, Dale, that.
And then we need one other bodyguard bouncer.
Wait, so you're all agreeing on Billy and Mabel?
Yes. So we have to stamp
Yep.
Mabel and we have to stamp Billy, but Billy is not around right now because he was kind of disappointed that we didn't hire him on the spot earlier.
Well, he doesn't need to be around. You have his application.
Oh, we do? So
Yeah.
let's see what happens when we stamp his application when he's not around. Let's see how long it takes him to get here.
Yep.
I don't
All
have
right,
the
so you,
application,
you stamp Billy's application and it flies off. You stamp Mabel's and it flies off. You've hired Roofbreaker as one of your guards. Who is your other guard?
Who were the other applications? Can someone run that by me again?
You had the
You
Paladin
have the
of Thor.
Viking-
Yeah, you had the Paladin of Thor and you had the Knoll.
I kind of like the furry.
Yeah, I kind of like the furry as well.
All right, so you're going to hire
might
Nasher.
have- I think we'll
I'm
go
sorry?
with Nasher. Go with Nasher. Avoid the more entanglements with the church for now, if possible.
And this is probably a good time that Garfield is not here, because he would probably want to go with the Thor guy.
Yeah.
Probably.
So we will go ahead and stamp his behind Garfield's back.
And that's all the hiring.
Yep, give me one moment. I need to verify that everyone has been accounted for.
So are we gonna skip a week and watch how long all of them work? Well, how well they work.
That gives our robot...
Oh! There is one more. I'm sorry.
Who do we have left?
This is actually a surprise.
Surprise!
Another person enters through the door. This man is adorned in all black. He's got black leather armor. He has a black robe, black, wrist guards, shin guards. He has like white bandaging, kind of in places where he would be a little more battle worn. And he does have a mask on. Half of it is white, half of it is black. It is not an animated mask, to say the least, but it is a faceless one. And he walks into the bar.
Welcome, we just opened. What can we get for you?
The man gives you a nod as he walks over to you guys at the table. Mabel's gonna head back over here into the kitchen to begin to do her shit.
Kids, take the kitty over to the booth.
And they will happily do so. Cheshire's just like, no, my food! And then Will's gonna grab the food. And they're gonna preoccupy Cheshire. The man speaks to all three of you in a dark, in shadowy voice that seems a little bit ethereal. And he is speaking into all three of your minds. One moment while I pull up his shit. For Alex, you see that on his application, there's a special notation for dual applicant. His name is Zachary Conquest. He is 29. He is a male. He is human. He is a Kensei monk as well as an assassin. He has been an adventurer for 6 years, an information broker for 2 years, and a mailman for 6. He is applying for an information broker position or a guard position. You are all not aware of this. But he is applying to your establishment.
Greetings. My name is Zach.
And you hear his words whisper in between all 3 of your minds.
So we have a job commission up for information broker.
You do not. But I am here to offer my services. As per my patron.
What does he require, and what benefit will it be to us?
Well, for one, if you want to, you guys have the opportunity to hire him as a guard or to be an information broker. So if you guys need any sort of knowledge or know-how about what goes on throughout the city, or possibly even the Undermoss, some movement of political figures, whatever the case may be, if depending on your question and how hard the information would be for him to get, he could get that information for you. That, or he could kick ass and take names.
Well, what if we hired him full-time as an information broker, and if he wanted some extra, we could hire him on the weekends, like 1 or 2 days on the weekends as a guard?
That is up to you if you wish.
That'll be extra pay on our end, not something that'll be taken up by OrinCraft.
It would just be a little extra
if you
security
want
when we
him
needed it.
to officially be hired, you would have to spend 200 OC right now if you wanted to hire him. Sometimes you guys will get surprise applicants.
How much OC we got?
Yeah, 500.
And that's 200 if we wanted him as an information broker.
Or a bartender, or a guard, or both, because he is a dual applicant.
I
Take
wouldn't.
my vote.
I wouldn't mind having like some full-time intel going on in here, and maybe possibly we could up the pay a little bit if we can squeeze a little intel out of him ourselves a little more.
Well, for the intel, you have to pay anyways.
I'm saying just something to make him a little more loyal, if you catch my drift.
Pay him more. Yeah, we don't mind spending the points to get an information broker.
All right, so you're gonna spend it.
How about 250? To make him a
50
little
for
more,
what?
to make him a little more loyal to us.
You're gonna give him 50 extra credits.
Yeah.
He'll accept.
I'll accept that.
Yeah, that's fine. Information can always be a good thing.
And if he's dual applicant for regard and information, he can.
Alright, I'm not sure what kind of alteration we need to make to the document, or if there is a document with this one. Do we have, like, a document for it?
Actually, no. If you do decide to hire him and send out his application, the charges will be drained automatically from your account as it goes directly to Toby's tower.
So we can put in the increase on this application as well, though.
You could.
So, do we keep this guy on the regular books, or what?
You can, because you gave him an extra 50. Yeah, you guys got yourself an information broker
And a guard.
and a guard.
Then we also might want to, sometime in the future, consider an accountant to keep all this shit straight for us.
A bookkeeper, yeah. How much is the bookkeeper again?
Bookie is going to be 400. Or if you guys really wanted to, your new hiree Zach can take care of accounting, because he is a controller of information.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I'd ask him if he wouldn't mind. Be like, hey, do you want to take over running the affairs here of how much we're buying and selling and
We would
keeping
pay
track of
him.
stuff?
We would pay him a salary in coin, not in OC.
Yeah, salary and coin. I agree with that.
And then he will nod and he will accept. You'll begin to hear him once more within the recesses of your mind. Is there anything you would like to know? Or would like to have found out? Or do you want me to guard for the time being?
I guess the only thing any one of us is wondering right now is figure out what happened to Julio and all the other athletes.
Juliel,
We'll
your
join with
fallen
his
party
family.
member.
Yeah.
I will look into this.
While these guys are discussing that, I'm going to head out into the street. First, I'm going to beg Kento to give me 5 silver coins, and then I'm going to give them out to random kids to start telling people to come over into the bar.
Okay.
I'm gonna go outside and start playing music.
All right. Jaren, give me a perception check followed by an investigation check. David, give me a performance check. I'm assuming Molly is assisting you.
Yep. Double 14, 19.
All right. What kind of tune are you playing?
Something merry. Sounding of new beginnings.
All right, and you begin playing your merry music of the official launch of the Broken Shell, right? That's the name of your tavern?
Conch.
I thought Conch was the group. Oh, wait, no, Conch is the tavern. The Broken Shell is the group.
The cracked conch.
Yeah, the crack conch. Which now actually has a crack in it, which is awesome.
Got it. So, Jaren, as you go out into the city streets, excited about the new aspects of, business, you do find a gaggle of children playing hopscotch or kicking around some. I'm gonna say a ball. It's not gonna be true medieval times. They're not kicking around a head. They're kicking around a ball.
Hey kids,
Huh?
you want to make some money?
How much we talking?
I flash them all 5 coins.
What kind of coins?
Silvers.
It's 5 silver coins. Is that for each of us, or like what's going on?
That's for all of you. I give you these, and then you go around and you tell people to come into our tavern.
You see the kids pull themselves aside into their own children version of a huddle, and you hear them begin to, bicker amongst themselves until eventually, all right, it's a deal.
I toss him the coins.
All right, what do you want us to say again?
Come on over to the cracked conch.
All right, bye. And then the kids run off.
Alright. I come back in and I tell the maids to clean up all the cat fur.
You'll actually. What's your passive investigation?
My passive investigation.
Yeah, what's your investigation at?
-1.
All right, so you have a 9 to your passive. Go ahead and roll me just. Oh wait, what's your passive perception?
Let's see.
Yeah, you would notice that there's no cat hairs anywhere.
Oh.
But Will Coral is going to assure you of this.
Alright.
As he gives you like an A-OK thumbs up.
We're gonna start having guests here soon.
You see both of the girls in Oracle get up from the booth, and with a determined look on all their faces, they're ready to get to work officially. And they begin doing like a deep clean of everything to make sure everything's all spick and span.
So,
Eventually, a familiar face walks into the cracked conch, and it is Billy. He is looking a little haggard. You could tell he was running. And he has a big ass spatula on his back. Like, this is almost a shovel.
like we're talking Ukio from Ranma.
Yes. Whew! Made it! Y'all hired me? I'm good to go?
I stop playing outside, walk back in, go back, talk to Maple, figure out what you two need to buy, come tell me how much gold you need, and then go
Hell
buy
yeah.
ingredients.
And then he's just gonna dart off into the kitchen.
Will that shovel actually fit in our oven?
It will.
Okay.
It's like similar to like the spatula you would get for like a pizza.
A pizza shovel, yeah.
Yeah. But it looked a lot more sturdy. Like he could hit something with it. It looks like a viable weapon.
Well, it's gonna need to get shattered. Because it needs to be put back together.
Heh. Alright, so I definitely have my homework about me with the amount of NPCs you guys have now. But due to the performances that you guys make, I am going to represent NPCs with the monster token. Just so you guys can get an idea as to who isn't yours. You know?
Well, at this point, we can basically time skip.
Yes, at this point, you guys can, in fact, time skip.
Alright, some things that we will probably want to ask our informer then we should discuss. Like, we should probably ask them to be looking into the deaths of the halflings. We should probably be asking them to look into jobs for us for dungeon crawling, especially because Jaren is getting antsy and wants to pummel something. What do you guys want to ask the informer?
What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you guys want to ask the informer? What do you gu
That's exactly what I would have asked.
Yeah, it seems like the best option.
All right. So a couple of things are going to happen throughout the week. First of all, David, you now have 2 revolvers. These are really nice, masterfully created. They are going to deal 2d8 piercing damage. After the 6th shot on each weapon, that is when you have to reload. You have a case of 40 bullets. And it does come in a case on behalf of House Kenneth. The
I have
guns
ammo
also,
if they're not enchanted.
they are not enchanted.
But I can enchant them. So I have
You
ammo
could
if they're not enchanted.
The 2 pistols also come in a very nice box. With a nice like foam interior to just kind of hold them in place. It's like opening up a
Are
present.
there holsters?
No, there are no holsters for them. They just wanted to get you the guns immediately. But actually, you know what? Considering it's House Kenneth, no, they would give you a holster. They would give you a custom belt that has 2 holsters at the sides and a couple of pouches for carrying ammunition.
I would just start setting that up.
Because your house would throw that in for you. Zach is going to come back with some information regarding the death of Juliel. Word on the street was that something has been targeting halflings lately. Information seems to have been coming from the docks as well as the Undermaw. It's not as though someone put out a hit, but they definitely gave a target matching Juliel's description. He even found pictures of people in a likeness. So it kind of gets the feel of they were feeling around for Juliel, but it didn't get quite into the assassination phase yet. It seems as though Juliel was in fact ambushed by a force that was going to spread. But because of his interference and your guys' attendance, as well as from the Church of Near, this one attempt has been thwarted, in a sense, on a more grander scale. In regards to the how they got in, he was not able to pull up any sort of information. He does know that magic was afoot.
Is there any way that we could possibly get information where we could start a staging point in the Undermaw and maybe start conducting an investigation down there ourselves, maybe like under the guise of doing a quest?
I actually like that idea. Have it be a legal thing.
Under the guise of a quest.
Yeah, we're going down there to get information gathered.
While Zach is comfortable going alone, he does warn the lot of you that since you are new to the Underdark, you're going to run across the Undermaw at some point. So going there under false pretenses is not a good idea. You must run the risk of going in yourself. Because OrinCraft and the Undermaw have an agreement that they will not meddle in each other's affairs to a point. The only ones authorized of going into the Undermaw on official business, such as a quest, is one of the guard captains or a hero. Unless you are part of the Undermaw, it is not a good idea going down there. If you have connections going down there, you would have an easier time.
What if we did something unofficially? Is the cat around for any of this, by the way?
Yeah, Cheshire's over here.
Cat, what kind of input you got on this?
Also, wasn't there something about a halfling or gnome character that was murdering people and slipping off into the Underdark? I'm not seeing it on the job board, but
One moment.
It would be in past Discord thing. But during the week, I would have also started working on the goggles. I would have spent the money to get the labor to space it. Use the gems to pay for that. Like, get a week and a half. Get a week out of the way.
Oh, it is in the job board. It is the 5th one in outside OrinCraft, capture and detain.
So this is something we'd have to go outside the walls for.
Not necessarily, because she's been spotted in Tent Town.
Well, isn't Tent Town still outside the walls?
It is. But it's also still part of the city. Now, even though you have a quest such as that, and it leads you into the Undermaw, it's still a gamble. If you went under there looking for her specifically, then that's one thing. But it's a high-risk deal.
It's like the Undermaw's a big place. You could run into something, and then you could not run into other things.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a labyrinth, as I've heard.
Oh, so our guard would love it there.
I look at him. Probably, hell shit, it's been a week. I cast it again. Not friendly. No, he has the thing.
At this point, he does have a necklace that allows him to speak and understand.
Have you ever been in the Undermall labyrinth?
Not under OrinCraft.
Well, I hope you like garden art place better.
He will nod in agreement. When it comes to your employees, they did actually adhere to your quote-unquote trial.
So did any of them do any big fuck-ups, or did the wizard use any magic or anything like that?
I'll go ahead and roll for it.
And I would explain to the wizard that he could use magic, he just couldn't use it for his job. As in, like, if he wanted to do it on his own time at night or whatever.
I would argue with you on that. I would want the wizard to be able to use his magic so he can clean faster.
Well,
It does take him a little longer to actually achieve the status of clean he wants, but he does adhere to not using magic. He is not above using tools to do his job, but it does take him a little more to accomplish. with the use of magic, he'll let you know, but with the use of magic, he could effectively cut his time into a fourth or even a half.
which would leave him more time to do the books.
I would tell him.
But he has managed his time nicely.
I would tell him, welcome aboard. You can use magic for whatever you deem necessary.
Thank
Jaren.
the gods.
Thank you, Jaren. I appreciate it.
No, but everyone does their job. They do it in a way that you'd lead them and expect them to.
Alright, well then congratulations to everybody. They all can stay.
Celebrations are in order.
We will extend their contract to however long we're supposed to extend their contract.
Just a full-time employee. You do note that during the day, Carla is the one that's particularly on duty, and during the night is when Lucas is on duty. When it comes to your chefs, Billy is the one that takes care of morning and lunch, while she assists with lunch and makes dinner for Mabel. When it comes to your maids, all of them are on staff all the time. They practically live here now, but you will see the girls either go out to go assist with friends or go even to school. Penelope does go to school. Your guards. When it comes to your guards, Nasher is the one that takes the day, while Roofbreaker takes the night.
How do those two get along? I just want to ask real quick.
What?
How do Nasher and Roof get along?
It's a weird relationship between the two. They don't necessarily talk to one another, but tolerate each other's presence. They are definitely more of the strong stoic types. Nasher is a curious dog, but not a loud one. Meanwhile, your bull is stoic as fuck because he is a labyrinth-like creature, and you have yet to see him rage. But he's very short, to the point, and oddly enough, he has his own like secret language of snorts and grunts that you guys have come to understand. Like approving snort, disagreement snort, don't mess with me snort.
I'll start to try to infer those.
You will all pick this up naturally as you go, because I'm just going to describe the type of snort he does. Happiness is not met with a smile, but rather a tail wag. A lot of the girls are very safe around Nasher and Roofbreaker. You hear them gossip every now and then about them, saying like this is probably one of the more better protected areas they could ever work in. I mean, the city of OrinCraft is one thing as a whole, but as a small little localized tavern, it's nice knowing that there are two beefcakes at the front door should anything happen. And what?
I was gonna ask, how have the clientele been over the past week? Has it been crowded? Has there been any problems, anything like that?
No, you haven't received any sort of problems as of yet. You don't have a huge flow of traffic, but because of some of your employees, they've been bringing in either their friends, maybe some relatives, or some passerbyers on the street.
We need to plan a grand opening then.
Yeah, you guys haven't necessarily had a grand opening or, done too much. The kids that you sent off is the reason you have any sort of traffic at all. Because as they are saying, your place is officially open, a lot of people have been like noticing that it has been opened, and they've kind of been, every now and then they'll peer inside to see what, the kind of feel for this place is. But with Nasher and Roofbreaker at the door, a lot of people are reluctant to go in.
All right, and also over that past week, have I been able to maybe convince the group to all get matching uniforms? Maybe with like a broken conch theme, like jagged cuts on clothes that are seamed together, like with, I don't know, some kind of golden glitter or whatever.
I mean, you guys could get matching clothes and have like a certain banner or something, like a broken conch on your shoulder. Or you could have like a specifically designed pauldron to the like left or right shoulder or something.
I like the idea of having like yellow or orange cracks all over our clothes, like a broken.
I mean, you could do that.
I mean, maybe just something for us to wear during the grand opening night. And like something, a specific uniform for all of our actual staff.
One moment, please.
And we would have to like find out how much that would cost us, and maybe if we could get a bulk kind of deal.
Oh, also at that point, how much would it cost to change my magical item to where my suit that I have just has that pattern?
I mean, since you have like Glamour Wave, it's going to be super simple to get that kind of thing on you. But keep in mind, is it all of your clothes or just the cloak? Yeah, you have a shift weave. Hold on. Okay, so you don't have it underneath your shift weave just yet, but once you get the clothes, you can establish it inside the silk weave by getting rid of something else.
All right.
Let's see. For all your employees, 1, 2. Are you buying clothes for Molly?
Yeah, I'll do that as well. I'll change your clothes as well.
And something that I could wear under my spiked armor.
Jaren, roll me a persuasion check.
Hell, if I'm going to get fitted, I'm going to be there.
At advantage.
And I
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Wait, I'm going to
I'm
use
gonna
my
roll for myself.
D10 inspiration.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Actually, I'm not really sure if I would even still have that, but still.
I mean, you could get another drink from Lucas. And Alex.
Yeah, I rolled that.
Alright. For the cost of uniforms for you and your current cast of employees, that is going to run you about 200 gold.
I take out 200 gold worth of gems. So I don't think a tailor would mind being paid in jewelry.
I mean, you could probably just get that converted real quick. So.
Yeah.
Alright, so I would go ahead and start lugging all the uniforms back. And start handing them out.
Well, we'll want to get everybody fitted.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can spend a day to get your employees measured, or you could summon a tailor to your tavern.
Probably
so
that
they
one.
can
Some of the tailors
send them into a back room while they can get their things.
Yeah, that one would probably be best.
one thing you guys are going to notice. I'll put this in later, but you guys now have an upstairs.
Also, the next thing, we got a quest board. You guys
Yeah.
want to look at the quest since I'm ready to go out? I've had a rest, I've got my weapons, we can see what there is to do.
DM, about where would the stairs be actually first before answer that? Down there in that corner? Okay.
Yep.
And they're like spiral stairs or like straight stairs or
They're straight stairs.
Okay.
Like it's gonna be
They'll go over the tables.
it'll go like this way, and then it'll come to a landing, and then it'll go up.
Got it. Cool. And sorry, Dale, what did you ask?
Since we've had a rest and I have my weapons, do you want to go outside, look at the quest board, and see what there is to do?
Sure.
Either that or talk to our informer.
Well, he already told us all the stuff that we learned over the week.
Well, I guess we could look at the quest board. We need a stage.
We get that when we hire Bart stuff.
Yes, right there, where Kento just indicated.
Alright, so for the lot of you, I do regret to inform you that because you guys have time skipped a week, the entire job board is going to change.
Yeah, I expected that.
Yeah, so I'm going to completely refresh your quest board. Give me about, well, I mean, until next session, and I'll have a completely updated job board for you guys to look at. Because it is time for me to stop. Around the time for me to stop. It's about 4. So this is actually a good place to stop.
All right.
On top of this, I will also have portraits of all of your employees by that time. So I don't have to use these A's anymore.
Jaren will be at least 5 to 7 days doing endurance and strength training.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to do during this week of downtime?
The goggles, I'd be working on those. I get a week of them done.
Which one?
The goggles with night vision for
goggles.
correct?
I would be showing the bartenders how to interact with Agatha, and I would be tinkering on Agatha after I got back from my runs.
All right. And on top of that, by next week, I will also have your upstairs ready. With that, thank you guys for coming down. I'm sorry there was no combat today, but there was a lot of shit here.
Jaren had combat.
There was a
That's
grappling
all combat.
contest.
I mean, yeah, there was a grabbing contest.
But I had fun.
Just to let you guys know, for Jarn, yeah, I rolled like 3 natural 20s on you.
That means that it was meant to be. RNGesus was not with me today.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, just look at that persuasion roll. A 1 and
I
a
know.
3.
Oh, one more piece of information you guys will enjoy. The basement is now open. So I'll also have that for you by next week as well.
And the hammer's down there, I'm assuming.
You don't know where the hammer is.
We don't-
Even if you go down there like during the week, you have no idea where that hammer is.
Hmm.
Like, it's gone.
Alright, so who's going to write up a summary for Joaquin? For Garfield?
Yeah, I'll probably get with him later to figure out what he did in the past week. Oh, just so that it's no surprise, while you guys are out and about adventuring, Tempest is gonna help run things here.
Okay, that's another thing I was just going to ask. Do we know anything about what Tempest is doing and where she is?
Tempest, for the most part, has been back in the entertainment district, either honing her performance practices, establishing new tricks, new commands, new whatever for Phantom, and then enjoying herself leisurely. But she has been checking in on this establishment, getting used to the new people, talking to them, doing a little bit of management, making sure things are good to go.
All right, and do we have our own rooms, or is that going to be something in the second floor, or is this? You said our employees have their own rooms. I was wondering where all that kind of stuff is. If you're going to be adding it to the map or what.
You guys do have your own rooms, but if you want additional rooms, you will have to use credits for it. But with the installation of all your employees getting rooms, they're going to give you some rooms too.
So is that something you're going to be adding to the map?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. With that, thank you guys for playing, and I will talk to y'all later.
All right. Cool. Later.
All right. Later.
Bye.